before I actually get to this video, okay? There's something going on. There's something going on. This video may have merit. This video may be very good. This video may be based. This video may be true even. But I got the heebie-jeebies the other day. I got the heebie-jeebies, okay? Because I got a message. I got a message. That's what I'll say. I got a message that I didn't expect to get a message about. This is real. This is not fake. This is real. This is a real screenshot that I got on my Twitter the other day. This is real, and I have never told anyone this until this time. You guys are the first people finding out about this. But clearly MrBeast wants me to watch this video. Okay, we got some very big news in the MrBeast dramaverse. I don't know if you've heard, if you've been out of the loop, if you have like a life, if you're not terminally online. But while I was away from streaming for the past 5 days, something happened, chat. Something happened that is currently changing the game of public opinion now. I have not seen this video all the way through. I've seen clips of it. But I want to explain a little bit of context before we get to the real meat, okay? So, essentially, here's the deal. Soggy Cereals, who is he? He's a commentary guy, decent-sized channel, 260K subs. We've reacted to him before on the stream. We've witnessed his existence, his greatness, some may say. You know, he's a guy that exists out there. Kind of kind of informed in that Curtis Connor sort of area of commentary. You know, he's kind of from there. But he's getting a little edgier. He's getting a little bit edgier. And he ended up making this video. And it's calling out Dogpack404 on some poor research. Now, as you guys know, Dogpack404 is perhaps the biggest contender in the dramaverse right now, okay? He was a former MrBeast employee, came out with 2 videos, combined 30 million views in these videos. Had a third one that got a lot of shit. He ended up taking it down for some misinformation he spread. But now, apparently Soggy Cereals is questioning everything. He's questioning everything from that verse, from that universe, from the Dogpack universe. He's calling him out in a major way. Now, I do want to bring up something that happened here that's interesting. First, before I actually get to this video, okay? There's something going on. There's something going on. This video may have merit. This video may be very good. This video may be based. This video may be true even. But I got the heebie-jeebies the other day. I got the heebie-jeebies, okay? Because I got a message. I got a message. That's what I'll say. I got a message that I didn't expect to get a message about. I got a message. This is real. This is not fake. This is real. This is a real screenshot that I got on my Twitter the other day. I had literally reinstalled Twitter on my phone that day because I had uninstalled it for purposes of being less terminally online. But this actually happened. This is real. This is not a joke. And I have never told anyone this until this time. You guys are the first people finding out about this. So, I don't know. I immediately was like, okay, maybe this video is good, but clearly MrBeast wants me to watch this video because he thinks it's got some shit, okay? He thinks it's got some shit. So we're going to have to watch the video and see how good it is. But, yeah, this is real. This did happen. I was like, why is he messaging me? Like, out of anyone he could message. Like, why? I guess I have a decent-sized channel, but, like, he must just not know anything about me. I assume. Maybe he saw that I wasn't like totally on board with the Dogpack stuff and criticized him. Maybe that was why, but I don't really know. Now, I know he's also talked to a few other people. I know he messaged Pyrocynical. I know he messaged more Pegasus about this shit, which we'll get into that stuff more a little bit later and maybe what's going on there. And if there's any sissy baka behavior. But for now, we're going to have to actually get into the video at hand here. We're going to have to get into the video at hand. Now, I do appreciate all the super chats. I'm going to try to not go through a lot of super chats right now because I want to actually watch the video at hand. But I want to make it clear, just because he's messaging people this video doesn't mean the video is bad. But clearly MrBeast likes this video and he thinks that it's good, and, or at the very least, he thinks that it helps him. So I think that is important. I think that is important to note. Flamingo in chat says, as a former member of the MrBeast crew, he abused me in every way imaginable. Based. I hope he did it. I hope he does it more. Please tell him to stop gooning. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that right away. But yeah, this did happen. This did actually happen, okay? This is real. Anyhow, with that being said, what we got to do is actually get into the content. All right, we got this video by Soggy Cereals. The truth about MrBeast and Dogpack404. Now, it says I've already watched a bunch of it. I think I clicked around to the middle, but I have not seen the majority of it. To be honest, when I was watching it on my own, the intro to it kind of turned me off, but I've heard very good things about it. I've heard very good things about it in the whisperings of the world and the whisperings of the commentary community, okay? Ooh, boy. This is a big one, chat. This is a big one. Here we go. Here we go. That's what you said about Dogpack. That's true, but in fairness, Dogpack looks really retarded based on this video. At least from the things I've heard, but we'll have to get into it and see what's actually going on here. We'll have to delve deep. We'll have to dive deep. We'll have to get in the muck. I don't know. You know what? I think, we're just gonna have to watch the video. Enough preloading. Enough quibbling and quabbling around. Let's just fucking watch it. Here we go.
You're pushing back on everything that we're saying. So what?
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt.
And I've been trying to get to this point of working on MrBeast for a long time. Can I please have a second chance?
You were the manager of Dawson, or Dogpack404.
I was the manager of Dogpack404 for a time being.
Was that his firing? Was that what they talked about? That sounds like it's because in the cease and desist, I think the second one that Dogpack got sent, they had mentioned they had a recording of him being fired. What the f is going on? Is that what that is?
If you had to describe the working conditions when Dawson was working with you in ideation with one word, what word would it be?
I would say it was depressing.
The war crime stuff.
Depressing. Depressing? Wait. No.
Word. What word would it be?
I would say it was depressing.
Depressing? Like, I don't know if she's telling the truth. I don't know enough about this person yet, but imagine somebody's asked about what it was like working for you and they describe it as depressing. They describe it as depressing. That is brutal. That is brutal. When people talk about working for me, they often describe me as uplifting, inspirational, and having a BWC. It being described as depressing, that's pretty dark. That's pretty fucking dark, dude, okay? Was he listening to My Chemical Romance in the crib? What's going on here? What exactly is happening?
The war crime stuff, that was a joke. Why did you make that joke?
Actively right now, by the videos that Dawson is making, he is actively hurting the philanthropy that is helping thousands and millions of lives.
Hurting the philanthropy. Interesting. That is one thing I did consider with the Dogpack videos, because like if you want to target MrBeast for anything he does, it's very hard to not simultaneously affect the people who work for him, right? Like whether he's guilty or not. And then the problem becomes based on that, like, or also they're saying charities here, which is obviously more important, you know? The question kind of becomes like, how do you go against MrBeast in a way that doesn't hurt the hundreds of people who work for him, you know? And like also, because it's such a big company, how much responsibility can you ascribe to him personally? I think these are some of the problems you run into when you're covering this kind of this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff. It's very, very, very big questions you need to ask when you go after someone like this.
Oh, so you want to cheaply manipulate people by imitating Content Cop? I'll show you imitating.
Dude, I hate European people. I'm sorry. Can we like redo the video with like an AI voice of me, maybe, so it sounds better? I think that would be preferable. Why do you have to be European? I'm not even trying to make a judgment on the video yet, but why do you have to be European? Well, we are going to do a parody of Today we're going to do a parody of Shut up, dude. Jeez. Just don't be European. Just don't be European.
Content Cop.
What we do here is go back.
No. No. Bro.
Fuck.
I'm sick of the Content Cop parodies. I'm sorry. This is cringe. This is cringe, okay? This is cringe. I'm sick of the Content Cop. Enough. Do we need this again? I don't know. I'm kind of sick of it, dude. We need a new thing. Can there be a new thing people parody? There needs to be like a new thing people parody. You know what I mean? I think we got to get rid of it. Bro. It kind of made more sense, honestly, when Dawson did it. Because despite how bad his research is, Dawson at least looks like an incel. This guy looks like a disturbed European person. Okay? It's over for me. We've had enough. Stay in the trash where you belong.
Hey my bowl of cereal, as most of you have probably guessed by now, this video won't just be about this alleged fraudulent and manipulative asshole, it'll also be about this confirmed fraudulent and manipulative—
Wait, I'm realizing he's going really far with the iDubbbz flattery. Isn't this literally the same exact intro as the fucking Jake Paul fake out one that was actually about rice gum? Is this the same thing? Interesting. iDubbbz wasn't funny. I hate this historical revisionism. iDubbbz was funny. Also, this guy is Belgian. That's very dark. All Belgian people need to go. We need to have enough of Belgian people. Okay. I don't know what we're going to do about them. I think Donald Trump might have a solution that I would agree with, you know. As far as his policy on Mexicans, I don't know. But when it comes to Europeans specifically, like your ancestors didn't come to the United States, you're lesser than me, therefore fuck you.
Asshole. Dogpack404, also known as Dawson French, and his victims of manipulation. For the people.
Well, victims of manipulation.
Also known as Dawson French, and his victims of manipulation.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Rosanna Pansino or Jake Weddle are victims of Dogpack's manipulation at all. Rosanna Pansino is like a 40-year-old woman. Am I gonna say she can, like, if she's able to be manipulated by a 20-year-old kid that well, then she just has Down syndrome, maybe. I'm just saying.
Manipulation. For the people who have not been exposed to his propaganda yet, Dogpack404 or Dawson French is an ex-MrBeast employee who worked there for about 3 weeks, and after being fired, made or worked on videos filled with lies about Mr.
Lies!
And I became suspicious of Dogpack404 after he called me overdramatic for not wanting to spread serious accusations.
So here Dogpack says, and you were being dramatic. Soggy says, how was saying I didn't want to make a video with unsubstantiated proof being overdramatic, lol. Ooh, that's definitely a bad DM.
With unsubstantiated and easily refutable evidence. As well as because he tried to silence me with threats of slander.
Alright, big dog, good talk. I'm still gonna cook you. Sure, got receipts enough to prove my innocence. I can give them actually. But sure, man, if you want to go down the path of just slandering me, do it. Interesting. I'm gonna cook you. So Dogpack, he hasn't tweeted since this came out, right? He's got to respond, though, right? I can't imagine him taking this lying down, right? If he's gotten this far. Yeah, so he hasn't tweeted since the 14th. This video came out on the 15th. Any replies? No, he hasn't said shit. So yeah, probably I would suspect he will respond eventually. I don't know when, though. I don't know when, but I can't imagine him not responding.
After I started suspecting him of lying. So in this video, I will be debunking close to every accusation he and the people he manipulated have made. But Soggy, are you going to glaze the MrBeast, Soggy? Are you going to decry the lunchly owning, alleged intentionally registered sex offender hiring MrBeast, Soggy? No. See, I think we can all agree that.
See, that one worked because in the content cop videos, IDubbbz is doing a parody of an annoying European accent, and Soggy Cereals actually has an annoying European accent, so it works. It works, is what I'm saying. Okay, it makes sense.
Lunchly, kinda cringe. Logan Paul KSI collab, kinda. That's a yikes out of 10. Okay?
Wait, did he literally just hawk to it? Hold on.
Kinda cringe. Logan Paul KSI collab, kinda. That's.
He did hawk to it. He did hawk to it. He's back. He's fucking back!
It's a yikes out of 10, okay? And the fucking mold situation, that is disgustingly messed up, and I'm never eating that shit in my life. But that doesn't mean that just because this spiteful, vengeful ghoul accuses MrBeast of intentionally hiring a registered sex offender, that he actually did. Yeah, let's talk about the lies spun by Dogpack and Jake Weddle.
So this is the biggest question. Did he knowingly hire a sex offender? Because when that came out, I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what is actually happening here? There needs to be some kind of reckoning for this information. Because it's hard to imagine unknowingly hiring someone like that, but I guess we'll have to see what he has to say.
MrBeast knowingly hired a registered sex offender, and while working at the company would refer to him by covert codename Delaware because of the crimes he committed there, and as a result is not allowed to go back into the state of...
This always seemed retarded, like, if you are MrBeast and you're trying to cover it up, why would you be using this, this nickname that obviously would like enlighten people as to where the crime was committed. Also, the idea that he was banned from the state of Delaware, like, doesn't really make sense. Typically with files, they don't get banned from states. That's usually not the case. So yeah, that's kind of a big question to me.
Of Delaware, and that MrBeast higher-ups are using that nickname because they enjoy messed up insider jokes like that.
When I was there, they called him Delaware. He's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, you know? You know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, and whenever he is.
This is another thing. In the video we saw with him, he was wearing a mask, right? So it was like, so he's hiding his identity, basically. Like, that seemed to be the case. But then people started researching, and it seemed like there were other videos where he wasn't hiding his face, which made it like, okay, so why was he hiding his face in only this one? You know what I mean? Like, was it him protecting himself from the RSO allegations, or was it something else?
He's wearing a mask.
Just saying that out loud makes it sound like a contrived side plot in a badly written Netflix series, since state banishments are extremely rare. Most recent one I found was a 1-year Kentucky banishment in the year 2000. Luckily, the real story is much more boring. See, according to a
Oh, wait. He had it on his name tag there? Is
Luckily,
that Best Buy?
the real story is much
I remember people talking about this. Yeah, Best Buy, but nobody could find the fucking video for him.
more boring. See, according to a non-anonymous MrBeast employee, Dustin Harris, who has been working at MrBeast for about 6 years and went rogue because he couldn't stand Jimmy not responding to all of
Hey Soggy, I'm Dustin Harris. I'm working at MrBeast for 6 years now. I saw your slot video. I wanted to help set the record straight about some of the misinformation online. To be clear, I think there's a lot of fair criticism out there, but at this point, it's majority misinformation and slander, not just against Jimmy, but against the work I do and the work my colleagues do. Interesting. I mean, that's part of the thing, right? With a lot of these allegations, you're not just going after Jimmy, you're going after an entire company of people. So it kind of makes sense that there would be a lot of questions around if it's ethical to ascribe the entire company to blame or just Jimmy. I feel like you kind of have to pick out independent people at the company to go after who may have fucked things up rather than being like blanket term, it's MrBeast company, you know?
all of the misinformation being spread about not just Jimmy or the MrBeast company.
I assume they said he couldn't go to Delaware because of the people on the street there, not legally. I was like, oh snap, Delaware street justice like an MF. I mean, I guess that's possible, but yeah, I guess that is possible. I didn't take it that way though. I took it like he couldn't go back at all. Basically was my assumption there. At least from the way that he said it, right?
Company, but also about his own friends and colleagues. Well, he explained that Delaware was once a store manager at Jimmy's local Best Buy, which, for the people who don't know, Best Buy is a $20 billion valued electronics retailer company with stores all over the US. I mean that when Jimmy was 19 and first started blowing up on YouTube, Jimmy realized he needed employees to improve his content. So, as a dumbass, impulsive 19-year-old randomly thrown into fame, he went to his local Best Buy and asked its employees if they wanted to work for it. Naively thinking that a multi-billion-dollar company would have at least made sure to not hire criminals and especially to not hire a registered sex offender as store manager, 19-year-old MrBeast didn't do background checks. Was that stupid? Yes. Is Delaware a piece of shit? Yes. Should Jimmy take responsibility for making that mistake? Yes. But it wasn't this fucked up master plan by Jimmy to intentionally hire an RSO. It was a dumb mistake by an inexperienced adolescent starting up a business.
I would say that probably makes sense. That probably makes sense when you're pretty young. You're starting a YouTube channel, like especially if you're 19 years old, you're not going to think about these things. Like when I contract people who do work for me, keep in mind these aren't on-camera people. I'm the only person. I haven't done background checks for them. Now, keep in mind, they're not an employee at a physical company where there could be some kind of misconduct potentially happening, but I've never run a background check on anyone who works for me. Not a single one. And I don't think that I necessarily even could because some of them are foreigners. So it makes sense that it's not necessarily a malicious thing from him. And it's more like, you know, he was 19, it was dumb. If the guy got fired, that would be good. But I will say, there's a little bit more to it than this, right? Because here, the way that Soggy's framing it is as if it was a random find. But that's not exactly the case, as someone in chat pointed out. He admitted to his criminal record before he started working, to be fair. We don't know that. That's what Jake the Viking said. We don't know that at all. We don't know that at all. But there was something going on here that goes a little deeper, okay? Delaware was not really a random guy from my understanding. And to understand that, we have to bring up a different video by the Gamer from Mars, where he went through every single MrBeast controversy. And in this video, they have a section regarding Delaware.
Now, before we go any further, it would be a good idea to digest all of the info that has come out about this so-called Delaware. At this point in the drama, so much was coming out at once, it was hard to tell what was happening. So to back up, this ex-manager was identified as 36-year-old Charles...
This is what we found out from the second Dogpack video where Jake Weddle talked about this, right?
Robert Jefferson. He was convicted in 2010 for sexual assaulting a 1 to 11-year-old. The crime took place around 2004 as he was 16 when it occurred. It wasn't long until online sleuths found his Facebook account, with curious posts around the exact time he was accused. Ever known someone who needed to be hit by a bus and then blow up? I sure as hell do.
That's weird.
Something happy. I was told to write this because I want certain people to die. What is on your mind? Well, let's see. Nah, I'm not gonna put that on Facebook. I could get in trouble. This is dated April 20th, the literal day before he was convicted. I have to go back to Delaware tonight. Yay! Not. Please shoot me. He then spent the next week pining over going back to North Carolina. This is where sleuths found an even stranger connection. Charles was friends with Chris back in 2010, and they worked at Best Buy together for the next half a decade. This is actually how he got hired by MrBeast. When Jimmy's channel took off, he always went to that store as Chris's old pal prioritized the YouTuber.
Never watched you.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of framed in Soggy's video as if this is a random thing. Like, just a random guy they hired. But that's not really the case. Chris knew him. So did Chris know about all of the allegations or the fact he got charged? Maybe not. I don't know what Chris Tyson knew, and by extension, I don't know what Jimmy knew. But he wasn't like a completely random guy. And I feel like part of the problem here is Soggy's just kind of taking this employee's word for it, which is good that he's getting the other side of things because Dogpack only got one side, the negative side. It's good to get the positive side, but you kind of have to cross-reference that with everything else going on, right? You really do. So do I know that Jimmy knew about this? Probably not. If I had to guess, he probably didn't know. But it's possible that Chris Tyson knew. If Chris Tyson knew this guy for a lot longer, right? So it does kind of beg the question of like, what's going on here? You know, what exactly is going on here?
And you don't need to take mine or Dustin's word for it. If someone did but a shred of research, you'd find this still publicly available, almost 7-year-old video on the MrBeast channel, where you can see Delaware as the Best Buy store manager before he was hired at MrBeast. And guess what nickname was embroidered on his Best Buy uniform? Delaware. Wow.
And this is true. This part is true. It's definitely true that the nickname probably had nothing to do with his charge, and it was just his name at Best Buy. So that's ultimately the name they went with when they hired him, right, as his public name. So that does make sense to me. That does make sense to me.
Well, that was hard investigative research.
They called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. You know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. And whenever he is, he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, this also looks really bad on Jake Weddle's part, right? Because his face is there. Clearly, in like plain as day, you can see what he looks like, right?
He's wearing a mask.
For the people thinking that he still works at MrBeast, no, he was fired over half a decade ago. Now, Dogpack, before you say something along the lines of, what about the recording we showed from a real MrBeast employee talking about Delaware? Do you really want me to go into detail about how you and your cronies tricked an employee into saying what you wanted him to say to support your lies, and then you guys recording him and using that recording without his consent? Okay. Hi, Garrett, can you...
I would like to hear that recording again, though, to be honest. Just for full context. Dogpack, because I feel like this video could have done a better job of maybe just having that recording in there. Probably. Let me see if I can get that. Okay, this is the recording. I do remember it, but I gotta hear it again. I remember it happening.
This team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry, and that's what actually like sparked this.
So he says the team was trying to expunge Delaware's record. That's what Dogpack
person
says.
To start.
Let's see if it says that in the audio.
Recording. Okay,
so I will say nowhere in that clip do they say anything about it being covered up, about them trying to get his record expunged. Nowhere do they even acknowledge what Delaware was accused of, what he ended up, you know, being proven to have done based on the court records, you know, what he was convicted of. None of that is mentioned in that clip, so that does look manipulative from him. I will say that. It also doesn't sound great for Jimmy, but yeah, I'm kind of curious what's going on there with further details as far as Soggy's going to try to get out here.
Tell me a bit about how long you worked at MrBeast.
I was at MrBeast from around 2017 to 2021.
So you've worked there for 5 years and could be seen as a credible ex-employee.
Yep.
You're the person who we can hear talk about Delaware in the recording Dawson or Dogpack404 shows in his video. Can you tell me a bit about how that happened?
Yeah. It was not to my knowledge that I was being recorded. at all.
Oh.
You know, I have a friend who, you know, I worked with plenty of times outside of MrBeast. Just thought it was just like a normal call, just checking up on him, him checking up on me. And, you know, when two people speak about old places, you know, there's drama, there's gossip, there's catching up, there's, you know, et cetera, whatever. And then the next thing you know, 2 weeks later, Dogpack releases like a 12 million view video where, you know, I just have a really crappy voice changer over my voice. And if you know me, like, you know it's me.
So was the entire call basically just rumors you were talking about with a friend?
Yeah, it's just a friend. We're just shooting the shit, and you know, we're just gossiping.
The thing is, even in that clip, he doesn't really say what Delaware did or why he was fired. So I don't even know if this guy knew. So that's kind of like a big question for me. Also, a big question would be like, if this guy was recorded by someone else and then it ended up being in the Dogpack video, did that guy lie to Dogpack, or was Dogpack in on it completely? Like, did that guy lie to Dogpack and was like, oh, so you can just use that audio, whatever. Or was Dogpack just like, I'm going to use this fucking audio? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of another big question I have.
Speaking a lot, catching up on, you know, the current drama. Like, it's just, it is nothing crazy. Like
nothing you said had any actual facts behind it, as they try to construe in their video.
No, I don't, you know, I don't think any of the stuff that we were talking about really had any facts or like evidence. It was just water cooler talk.
Would you say them using the call recording unconsensually in their video has damaged you or your life in any way?
Yeah, unfortunately. To say that it hasn't hurt me financially would be just a lie. You know,
or like he has a green screen of an office building behind him. That's pretty funny. That's pretty fucking funny.
Mentally, it's hurt me as well. I mean, I was manic and crazy for about a month and a half, trying to just watch relationships like fall through my fingers. You know, I lost someone that like was pretty close to me as well. You know, it just wasn't a good scene. So financially and mentally, it really messed me up.
That is the thing. I mean, in corporate environments, even if you don't hate your boss or want to quit, people will fucking people will just talk shit, right? Because, you know, you got to get something off your chest. You just want to express some level of frustration. So that's possible. This dude is lying, keeps doing things liars. You're looking up into the side. I mean, I don't know what his tells are. Are you a fucking body language expert? I don't know if he's lying. At the end of the day, all I have is what Dogpack has versus what this guy has. Like, who am I to trust? You know what I mean? Who's to say he wasn't looking up and to the side in that audio recording? You know what I mean? I don't really fucking know.
Feel in any way like tricked, deceived, or used?
I mean, yeah. To say that I felt tricked or used is an understatement. Like, they knowingly came and did this. You know, I had like 3 or 4 contacts call me the night that it dropped, and I was watching the whole video trying to figure out like what they were talking about. And when it got to that recording, my stomach just like sank.
All because of a call that they unconsensually recorded, which you clarified was basically rumors and gossip.
Yeah, I didn't want to be involved with it.
The biggest thing for me is the rumors and gossip. Like, it's the call is very cut, and based on what we have, we don't even know that he was talking about anything regarding Delaware's charge. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing for me. I have no idea what the context of that call even was, or what he was talking about with Delaware, or why he was fired. So that's the biggest thing to me, right?
Didn't even know what was going on, that, you know, I was just thrown into unconsensually. And yeah, you said it, man. It threw a pretty big wall up in the progress of my life, and I didn't feel like that was needed, and pretty upset.
But then, what about Jake the Viking's tweet about Jimmy's mom literally allowing her then?
Yeah, someone in chat referenced this. I remember he claimed Delaware sat down with Jimmy and sued Jimmy's mom and explained to them everything, so yes, Jimmy knew. But this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017 and 18. Delaware was let go from the company before I was. So this is why people were like, Jimmy knew because of Jake the Viking's account, which I don't necessarily trust. Jake the Viking is a big thing here, right? Like, I don't really. He has shown himself to be at least willing to lie by omission, by being like, Jimmy knew about Chris, and then simultaneously being like, well, yeah, it turns out my brother-in-law is a convicted sex offender. Like, I don't really trust Jake the Viking.
Barely of age son to knowingly be in contact with and hire a pedophile. First of all, have you thought about just how fucking absurd that sounds? And second, Jake the Viking is a shitty person and untrustworthy. Even Dogpack's friends agree on that.
Viking is not a good guy, and that's just an opinion based on his actions in my eyeballs.
Wow, Dogpack and Jake Weddle falsely implying MrBeast intentionally hired a registered sex offender and created a nickname to joke about it within the company to then try back up their baseless claims by tricking an employee and recording him without consent? That's pretty messed up, Soggy.
Yeah, it is. I guess my question here would be like, was Dogpack intentionally lying, or was he just saying what Jake said and he just thought it was true based on that? Like, was Jake intentionally lying? Like, I don't really know what's going on here. Like, I don't really like Jake Weddle, but I don't know if he has it in him to intentionally just lie. He probably thought he was telling the truth, but he's kind of schizo. But it's hard for me to really tell. It's hard for me to really tell what's going on here. You know what I mean?
Yahoo! That'd be as shameless
like,
as
what was the chain of evidence?
Accusing...
To be clear, that doesn't exonerate Dogpack if he spread misinformation, which he has already done, and we already proved that, right? I made a whole video about it, and not gonna lie, I feel a little vindicated seeing this, you know, because people were like, "You can't shit on Dogpack. You're a MrBeast glazer. You're just gonna defend MrBeast to the ends of the earth, yada yada yada," as if I have some investment in MrBeast channel succeeding. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I just care about, you know, getting to the bottom of things and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. And I appreciate this video adds to that for sure. But there's still, with these answers, it's like now I have more questions. You know what I mean?
Someone of committing war crimes against the Geneva Convention in a consented to solitary confinement challenge where you'd earn $10,000 a day and can quit whenever you want and still keep the accumulated prize money up until that point. During a time where we have multiple countries actively at war in the world with millions of people suffering because of it. Oh, wait.
And I go up to my friend, my good friend. He goes, "What? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists." Oh!
But we should.
Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
You know what? Let's ask Dustin about that, because ironically enough, Dustin is the good friend of Jake Weddle.
So he seems to, Soggy Serial seems to be of the opinion that Jake Weddle is full of shit, and he's just, his complaints are completely ridiculous. I still think there are ethical concerns to be raised about that challenge in general. Jake Weddle is kind of a crybaby, but at the same time, I still think there are ethical concerns to be raised with, like, doing a challenge where you can't sleep for days and days on end. Like, I think that's still probably a bad idea to do that challenge in the first place.
Who made those war crime comments. And I can prove it with Jake Weddle's own words.
One of my dear friends who I believe I lost is the same guy who did the war crime joke, which turned out to not be a joke. He got injured at MrBeast, and that's because of Viking. On that shoot, everybody else had to stay behind and clean up. And Viking said, "Fuck that, let's just throw all of this over the side of the mountain." Like littering in a national park.
Littering
my good friend,
based.
who I kept saying was one of the good people over there, said, "You're not going to do that. I'm not going to let you do that." And Viking said, "Watch me." And he did it. But my friend gathered up all the stuff he could.
I'm pretty sure these dudes took workplace gossip as facts, jumped the gun, and now they fucked their own case. Yeah, I would generally agree with that. I think Dogpack 1000% did that. I mean, we saw that with the James Warren allegations, right? He 1000% took workplace gossip as fact and just ran with it, despite, you know, it being completely unverified. To me, it seems like he straight up slandered James Warren. I have not seen any definitive evidence otherwise. You know, he straight up just believed what a few employees said and then had to walk it back and be like, "Oh, well, actually, there weren't any charges filed against him." And it was like, all right, dude, what the fuck?
Could to make sure there was just that much less litter. And that's a really good thing to do. He carried everything he could down the mountain, and he broke his ankle. They said, "Yeah, you were carrying too much stuff, right?" Yes, he was. Because that guy's a saint.
And blame me for our friend Dustin. I'll use names, unlike you. Our friend Dustin falling and breaking his leg. Or not his leg, yeah, his ankle, I'm sorry. Falling and breaking his ankle.
Now, why would someone who Jake Weddle himself, who is clearly against MrBeast, describes as one of the best people he has ever known, who literally broke his ankle trying to prevent littering, and in Jake's own words, is a saint?
Because that guy's a saint.
Go rogue to try and correct defamatory statements made against Jimmy if Jimmy committed war crimes. The war crime stuff was 100% a joke. I'm now a producer, but I was originally hired as comedy writer with Jake Weddle, so I just wanted to cheer him up with a dumb and edgy joke.
Yeah. I mean, if this guy's telling the truth, which I don't have any reason to believe he's necessarily not, I would say it's probably accurate that Jake Weddle hears these things that validates him, that validate his perspective, his mind state, and he's like, "Oh my god, a war crime was done to me. Oh my god, guys."
Oh, so it was a joke. Dustin actually did say the war crime stuff as a joke. Okay, that makes sense, because in a follow-up video of Jake Weddle's and Dogpack's interview, Jake Weddle seems to slip up, saying it was a joke.
He's the same guy who did the war crime joke.
Before quickly correcting himself.
Which turned out to not be a joke.
And his videos are pretty unedited, so he might have just accidentally let it slip through the cracks. And just to be clear...
Man, what is Jake Weddle doing now? I'm curious. Haven't checked in on him in a bit on Phonum. What's he doing? Jake Weddle gets heckled at a stand-up show. He's making videos as if he's like a star with his own name in the title. Rosanna Pansino and Jake Weddle both have ADHD and dyslexia. Dude, oh my god, the level of cringe here is going to be monumental.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. This isn't my background at all. Where am I? I don't know. This is a video here, sort of a Mental Health Monday. Is this going to come out on a Monday?
Mental Health Monday. It's Mental Health Monday. Just stop. Just stop with the mental health. Stop. Stop. What if you were more mentally unhealthy? Could that benefit you in any way? I feel insane. I feel insane every single day of my life, and I'm great. I'm awesome.
Hey, I don't know. Probably not. That's why we need Mental Health Mondays. Don't laugh. You're going to ruin the reveal. What are you doing? Okay, let's do the wide.
You just say it's Mental Health Mondays, but it's not coming out on Monday.
No, that was the thing. I was going to do a video called...
Dude, that was so funny. Because it's like, it's not even Monday.
Mental Health Monday?
Yes.
And then I released it on a Wednesday.
It is not even truly Monday. It is a different day.
And everybody was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, why does he sit like her? That's kind of crazy. Is he in
comments
pain?
were like, that's so
us.
Yeah.
That's so, all right, we got to click off. I can't endure. I cannot endure. I cannot endure, dude. If there's anything I'm learning from this whole thing, it's that there are no heroes. There are no villains. There are no heroes. There are only crazy people on the internet. Quirky, random, wholesome people on the internet. That's all, okay? You lump them all into quirky, random, or wholesome. These are the three categories. There's edgers and gooners. There's no heroes and villains, frankly. That's it. That's fucking it, bro. Doesn't his dick hurt when he does that? I can't sit like that. Maybe I just don't have a nice thigh gap. Maybe I need to have a big thigh gap. Maybe that's what needs to happen. I don't know. It just seems dark. It just seems like a very dark situation. It seems painful. It's like you gotta manspread more. You gotta manspread.
Clear. I'll show the clip of Dogpack's 13 million viewed video again, in which Jake and Dogpack clearly insinuated it wasn't a joke.
And I go up to my friend, my good friend, and I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh! Oh, good. 24
He's probably neutered. Yeah, bro went to Iran.
hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
It's a really big allegation to say that, like, MrBeast took away your agency and, in a sense, kind of, like, forced you into doing this. But,
yeah. In a later interview, Jake Weddle gave in and said that his own accusation against MrBeast forced him to do the challenge and committing war crimes are alleged. His own accusation against MrBeast forcing him to do the challenge and committing war crimes was alleged. He said it was alleged? If he's making the allegation, why would it be alleged? Isn't he just saying it's true?
Yeah, no, I agree. That is very serious. That's why I alleged it.
And viewers clearly didn't think it was a joke either. But just as I will rip into Jimmy later in this video, I'll also investigate Jake Weddle's story in more detail later in this video. Because in between him falsely accusing Jimmy of intentionally hiring an RSO and comparing himself consensually...
To be fair, that isn't detail worth noting, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every single... If the goal is to turn people against Jake Weddle, I think this will partially do it for people who already don't like him. But I don't think this will absolve MrBeast of everything, because the point of it was not whether or not it was a war crime. The point of it was more that the challenge itself was unethical to the audience, right? That's what people cared about. So I personally think that this is not gonna, like this part of the video, I don't think is gonna, like, exonerate MrBeast like he thinks it will.
Actually agreeing to doing a challenge for $10,000 a day, being allowed to leave whenever he wants to victims and victims of war crimes, even though he knew that was a joke.
The same guy who did the war crime joke.
As well as spreading fake AI-generated incriminating voice recordings of MrBeast.
What are our options? Is this legally considered defamation? Because I'm not struggling here. Can someone tell me what my options?
Wait, what? Wait, AI generate? Wait, what the fuck?
Incriminating voice recordings of MrBeast?
Wait, what? He used AI-generated voice recordings of MrBeast? What?
What are our options? Is this legally considered defamation? Because I'm not struggling here. Can someone tell me what my options are here? Because we're supposed to launch the voice today.
This is AI generated? It is? This is AI generated?
Jake knows what he wants. Jake knows what he thinks he needs. He's supposed to be our student. The other comedian is making the that free. He has no idea how much fucking money I spent on that video to subscribe it. Jake, I don't think Jake's a problem. I think it's positive. I mean, really push.
That's right. I got that sent to me, and you know what? That was AI.
Maybe say that before playing the recording, because you worked at MrBeast and you know how people will just watch the recording and then click off of the video without ever hearing.
That is really interesting. I mean, that's a good point. People will click off the video. He probably should have said it before, considering it's such a damning time for MrBeast allegations and they really matter. But damn, I didn't even know that. It was an AI. He used an AI generated recording. I didn't even fucking know that. AI's right. Jake is stupid. Yeah, I mean, the guy literally spent, dude, the biggest concerning thing about Jake Weddle to me was like, he somehow spent like 150 grand on his comedy career. I don't know how. I don't know where that money went, but 150 grand. And then MrBeast offered him like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Jake was like, oh, I won't accept it all because I don't want to be a sellout, but I'll accept like half of it. It was like, what? Why not just accept it? Like you're going to accept some of it. So you're kind of scummy. What you see is like blood money, but you won't accept all of it. This is like, you're like taking money from a Mongolian diamond mine where they whip children. And you're like, well, I don't want to take all of it because I don't want it to be a fucking sellout, but I will take some of it. I will take some of it, but I'm still a good guy. It's like, what? That's kind of weird.
Hearing your disclaimer that it was AI generated. Oh, but then you wouldn't get as much money from views because this AI generated disinformation video.
Yeah, true. I caught Jimmy in a secret recording. Clickbait to make some money, for sure.
Is the one that got your channel monetized.
That's my brand. Is
used AI recording, false allegation to get his channel monetized. That's crazy.
Being honest and crying a lot.
And then after making those slanderous claims, accepts another $50,000 from Jimmy with no strings attached. There's a lot more to be said about him.
That's my brand. Is being honest and crying a lot.
And
I agree with the crying part. I do agree with that.
About how Dogpack manipulated him. But let's first continue with all of the lies and manipulation of Dogpack404.
How much money do you have to accept before you become a sellout? Is there a dollar amount? That's the thing I don't understand. Like, if the guy's already offering you some money, and it's money that you feel you deserve anyway, which is what he said in the video. He felt like he deserved more money for what he went through, right? Like, ultimately, that's the implication, right? But then you're going to accept some of it, but not all of it. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you not just accept all of it? Like, he's doing you a favor, right? The truth doesn't mind being questioned. A lie doesn't like it to be challenged. Nietzsche and or r/IM14 and this is deep. I don't know. All right. Shout out Nietzsche Maxers. This guy is Hyperborean. Soggy's Heroes is Hyperborean in a way that I did not expect.
Now, for the visual learners watching, you'll see that I have behind me a wall. And this wall features most of Dogpack404's accusations. And I say most because at this point there are just so many that I might have forgotten a few. And every time I disprove one of his accusations, it'll be crossed through with red marker. Every time I prove one to be uncertain, I'll add a blue question mark to it. And every time an accusation Dogpack made is true, I'll add a green check mark to it. And I know that you, and I, and everyone else wants to know about the illegal lotteries.
Yeah, I feel like that's the biggest one. I think the illegal lotteries was probably the biggest claim that was made that to me seemed like it had the most merit and could potentially get Jimmy in some kind of legal trouble. The idea of running an illegal lottery. So we'll have to see what he says, but that was definitely the biggest claim that I was like, oh shit. All the other stuff is important, but this is the one that could get him in legal shit. This is the one that could get him in court. That was my take.
Did MrBeast really commit 3 malicious and predatory illegal lotteries as get-rich-quick scheme? Well, I will talk about them throughout my video in between all of the other accusations, starting right now with the alleged illegal lottery number 3 claim of Dogpack404. Or should I say doctoring up evidence to make more convincing claims you knew to be untrue, Pack404.
Okay. That's pretty big.
Yeah, Dawson. I'm the first one who noticed. See, for the third illegal lottery, buy a shirt to be in a video live stream, Dogpack claims they only informed people on the website that no purchase was necessary. But, did you read the description? You know, the description which I got via the Wayback Machine, where it literally says free entry available on...
I feel retarded for... I never even checked this. What the fuck? Did Dogpack just cut that out? It says it in the description? Okay, well, did he say it in the video? I feel like that's also important. In the description is good. That's closer to it being more ethical, but I feel like it being in the video verbally would also help a lot.
Sites? Oh, but wait, you never actually found the description of that video, did you? You just made it look that way by doctoring up this fake YouTube UI. So you'd be more convincing and it'd look as if you had access to the original video and description. So people would more easily believe you. But I want you, the viewer, to closely compare these two layouts. This one is the UI when he talks about the buy a shirt to be in my video live stream. And this one is the actual current YouTube UI you see whenever Dogpack shows a screen recording of public videos you can still watch. And when putting the two side by side, you can see that the UI for...
Yeah, that is a fake UI for sure. That is a fake UI, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, a lot of people use fake UI to recreate old, like, video pages. If the video's lost and you don't have the page, but you do... Or if the video page is lost, it's not archived, but you have the file, the MP4 file, you can recreate the UI just to make it look nice on YouTube. If he didn't acknowledge it was in the description in the first place, or if he had access to the Wayback Machine, why not just show it, right?
For the illegal live stream is not the real YouTube UI. Instead of rounded corners, they're sharp, the likes are gone, the upload date is in a
Yeah, the title is buy the shirt to be in a video, that's true.
completely wrong spot where it has never been, and the button sizes and title font just seem off. And no, it's not because he found an older YouTube UI via the Wayback Machine like I did, because they don't hide likes and YouTube has never had this exact UI. Sure, it had sharp corners once, but not in combination with these exact other UI elements. But you want to know the funniest part? Even the re-uploaded version that Dogpack found and then added the manipulative fake YouTube UI to actually had copied the original live stream's description.
Shit.
So, even in the re-upload he found, it says that there's a free entry option. Yet he still doctored up this fake UI to make his intentional lies more convincing. Nah, I'm just kidding. Funniest part is that MrBeast verbally says it on stream.
No!
Shop MrBeast.com. Buy the shirt or hoodie. You could be one of the people that come down and compete in the video. There's also a free entry on the site as well. If you just 100 of which are going to be picked from you know, people that buy this shirt or hoodie, or if you enter for free on the site as well, it's, that's an option as well. So,
oh my god,
he does say enter for free. He does say you can totally enter for free in that stream. He does say that. We just heard it. What the fuck? What? Why did Dogpack just not include that? He just lied? I didn't think he would be so blatant. That seems so bad. Is there some other? I'm trying to figure out if there's some good faith thing I can give. Is there some other explanation that Dogpack could possibly have for why he didn't put that in? Because that seems like it kind of destroys his argument, no? It seems like Beast Bros might be back.
Oh, you're so sneaky. Now, when someone is prepared to doctor up evidence to make potentially incriminating lies more convincing, it automatically puts every single one of their accusations that isn't bulletproof into question. So... throughout this video, you'll also see that there are multiple examples of him leaving out crucial details from evidence that would easily disprove the accusations he's making. Because Dawson loves framing things deceitfully to push his personal agenda.
Shopify dashboard. We just have like a random number generator, and then like we just put the number, like if there's 1,000 orders, we just put it, picks a number between 1 and 1,000, and then my people give me the name.
Wait a second. MrBeast is only picking out of the Shopify list? Well, does that mean he's only giving away to paid entries after all? No.
Good question.
You can be part of a Shopify giveaway without having to make any purchase whatsoever. These are some generic examples of how to enter Shopify giveaways for free on the official Shopify website. MrBeast scamming someone out of a lifetime of dog food and then...
Well, I feel like him saying it verbally would have still been good there, right? Saying verbally you don't need to pay to win. I feel like that probably would have been good, right? Beast Chads are back. What lunchly are we eating right now? Dude, I've tried to find lunchly. I can't fucking find it, bro. I can't find... I want to get a moldy one. I think it'd be delicious. I eat mold every day. I think it improves my gut health, okay? Improves my gut health, improves my gains. I can't find it. I can't find it. All I can find is Lunchables. That's literally it, dude. Proof that editing and engaging videos get people to believe anything. Unfortunate this guy has brain rot content creator accent. Yeah, that is true. That is true, Pine Tree. But definitely, this does question pretty much everything Dogpack said, right? Because this is his biggest point. And if he presented it dishonestly, it makes you think, what else did he present dishonestly, you know? Which I guess we'll see in this video. But, I mean, obviously the James Warren thing, I gave him a lot of shit for that. And a lot of people pushed back on that. That video got a lot of dislikes. People were like, you're fucking retarded. You should not question Dogpack at all. And I was like, what? But at the same time, I think that this video definitely is in line with what MrBeast would like to be out there. Does that mean that there's lies in it? Does that mean that this guy is full of shit? No, I wouldn't say that. But just you do have to keep in mind the intentions here, right? Because this guy clearly got, you know, access to these MrBeast employees that he's talked to, pretty, you know, who went on the record with their full face. MrBeast commented on this video. MrBeast is messaging around, people being like, look at this video. So does that necessarily mean that the information he's presenting is bad? No, it doesn't. But just don't necessarily take it at face value. You do have to, you know, double check, verify stuff like this.
Tried silencing the so-called victim on Reddit?
As far as fake giveaways go, I'm sort of limited in what I can say without exposing confidential information and getting sued. So my official statement is that sometimes things slip through the cracks, and personally, I believe that is intentional. Here's one example where someone on Reddit posted saying that they were promised free dog food for life in exchange for letting MrBeast use them in a video. 5 months later, they still haven't received their dog food. I actually sent this post to someone who works at MrBeast, and they said they were going to send it to the PR team, and then the Reddit post got taken down. So I don't know if it got resolved.
Well, I mean, it is possible that they messaged the person. They were like, hey, we'll get your free dog food. Can you take the post down so it doesn't stay up and make us look like shit? And they were like, okay. Like, that is possible that happened, right?
Not true. Here is a message from the Reddit user stating MrBeast did reach out to them, as well as everyone else. Apparently, this user just hadn't noticed at first because the MrBeast company's email went to the user's spam folder. The issue got resolved, and then the Reddit post got deleted.
Yeah, which is what I just said. Like, why would Dogpack not just reach out to that guy to confirm it if he is the guy that's covering all this shit? Like, he's not just the guy who's like, oh, I'm covering all these allegations. We don't know what is the case. He's the guy who's like, I used to work for MrBeast. I have all the info. I have direct lines of contact. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And then he won't even do this much research. It's very weird. It's very weird.
Sometimes things slip through the cracks, and personally, I believe that is intentional.
Oh, the new Feastables formula has more sugar and calories than Hershey's?
MrBeast changed the formula again to where it has mostly the same ingredients as Hershey's, and even more sugar and more calories per bar.
Well, that'd be pretty messed up after MrBeast actively advertised his chocolate to be healthier than Hershey's. Luckily, it's just another lie. Dogpack is being deceitful here because he's comparing a single serving sized 43 grams Hershey's bar to a 2 serving sized 60 grams Feastables bar, instead of comparing it to a 1 serving sized 35 grams Feastables bar. Well, if you recalculate the ingredients of both to 43 grams, then you'll see that Feastables still has less sugar than Hershey's and actually has less calories than the previous formula.
This pit is fake.
No, it's not. Here's footage of them digging the pit.
So this footage he must have gotten internally, right? Of them building the pit?
Not. Here's footage of them digging the pit. You know what?
Maybe he was saying the train tracks going into the pit were fake? I don't know. This is one of the points I didn't really care about in the first place. Like the faking videos. I didn't really care about a fucking hole in the ground being faked. I didn't really care. But this makes Dogpack look even worse when the little claims are being disproved. And the big claims. It's like, what the fuck? What's going on?
But here's a crew member's footage of the 2 non-CGI buses and non-CGI train being in the pits after they drove them in there.
Shredder is CGI.
Nope. At this timestamp, they do shred an actual Lamborghini in a legitimate shredder. But I will say that when they use CGI, it looks fucking terrible, as if it came straight out of a CW show.
This car is digitally lifted.
This car isn't digitally lifted. However, they did change the original red coloring to blue to make a visual distinction between the first rocket car they launched and failed, which was red, and the second one they launched, which succeeded but was also red.
Wait, so why would, if it's not even fake, why would Dogpack have even made this claim if he didn't know? Who told him it was fake? Did he just think it was fake in his mind, or was he told this by some random employee and he just believed it? Even the little shit that I didn't care about in the beginning, from like, oh, this pit is fake, this car is fake, it's all real? They actually launched the car? That's what is going on?
Because they were scared that both cars being red might confuse the audience, so in post, they just changed the second one's color to blue. But there was no digital lift.
I think Dogpack's lost in the sauce. He got too popular too fast and started cloud chasing instead of doing the proper research. But the thing is, this is from his first video. This is from the first video Dogpack even made about this. This is before he had any popularity, and it's already like completely schizo.
What you're saying, the things that you're saying are truly in good faith, and that you're not a disgruntled employee.
You can watch my video and like view it through the lens of, oh, this guy's just a disgruntled employee, but the evidence still speaks for itself.
It kind of doesn't, though. It kind of doesn't speak for itself at all. Fuck, man. It doesn't speak for itself whatsoever. What is... The evidence is retarded. It's like fake. How could he even respond to this? How could Dogpack even respond? I guess he could... Ultimately, all he could really do is talk about that this is clearly a video that's being pushed by MrBeast himself and that he was involved in some way, I guess. That's the only way he could really respond. But if the facts and figures are accurate, what can he even say?
Of course. But the evidence still speaks for itself.
Of course.
This accusation of Dogpack404 actually upset this engineering YouTuber who passionately worked on that rocket car for months to get it working, just to have this goober claim that it's faked. But Dawson doesn't care about collateral damage done to others. He doesn't mind throwing people in front of
True. He straight up used this guy's story. What was that guy's name?
collateral damage.
The dude that was given like $1 million, and then he was like, yeah, you know, I didn't get enough money management after. And then Dogpack was like, this guy was fucking used. And this guy was like, actually, no, I'm fine with MrBeast, and you're just using my story in a very retarded way. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's kind of not cool to just use someone's story against their will, especially when they completely disagree with your interpretation of it.
Damage done to others. He doesn't mind throwing people in front of non-CGI buses to push his own agenda. He did it with the rocket car YouTuber. He did it with that tricked employee's phone recording they showed without his consent. He tried doing it with me by calling me overdramatic, pressuring me into making a video accusing MrBeast with uncertain and refutable evidence, which by now I know to be untrue, which he doubled down on, by the way. Every other commentary YouTuber did it without getting sued, even though just because a lot of YouTubers tried milking the situation.
Yeah, because like Jimmy can't sue everyone. If 1,000 people are slandering him, he doesn't have, even with the money he has, how expensive it would be to sue that many people is insane. It would be absolutely insane to sue. He'd have to sue like 500 fucking people individually in court for defamation. Nobody has the money for that, even MrBeast. It's fucking tens of thousands of dollars per case. And you multiply that by thousands of people, like it's literally impossible. It's literally impossible. Commentary channels made this way worse. Yeah, man, I really don't like the way that Pegasus covered this shit in particular. There's other people for sure, but he seems like the best example of someone who just ran with it, and he was like, well, it's all allegations, and that's true. But at the same time, to be fair, with these specific claims, with like the lottery stuff, I also was like, hey, this is an allegation. I don't know if it's true or not. And you know what? Maybe looking back, I could have fact-checked that a little better, and I'll take responsibility for that. But at the same time, okay, I also covered the criticisms of Dogpack as they were coming out, okay? For the James Warren stuff, for the leaks from Reddit, right? Shit like that, from the cease and desist and the call of him apparently having like a mental breakdown. He was being fired and begging for his job back. I covered all of that. And Pegasus didn't cover a single piece of it at all, right? I find that very weird. I feel like if you're going to cover these allegations, you should at least be willing to talk about the allegations made against the accuser instead of just painting him as if he's like some holy Jesus-like figure who's a fucking crusader, right?
Situation, and through unsubstantiated, easily disprovable accusations out there for clout, views, and money without getting sued, doesn't make it an okay thing to do, Dogpack. Or do you think it's acceptable to make false CP allegations? Which, maybe I should talk about that for a second. See, in a recent video on—
This was so bad. We talked about this. This was fucking retarded. Unbelievable that they did this. I would not be surprised at all if Rosanna Pansino got sued for this, because she fucked this up royally.
On Rosanna Pansino's channel, Dogpack404 claimed to have access to leaked work chat messages, with one of them being Ava Christison distributing alleged CP of Ivanka Trump. Except Dogpack—
And they didn't even check if it was CP or not before they posted the video, which is insane.
Doesn't always use the term alleged.
Yeah, this is the most disgusting one by far. Well, actually, the CP was probably more disgusting.
And he also proudly admitted to having downloaded that and censored—
Yeah, like it's all alleged, guys. It's CP. It's all alleged. It's child. Jimmy knew. Jimmy knew. It seems like because of the lack of response from Jimmy, he got more and more confident with these crazy claims. It's very disappointing, man.
Alleged CP on a now deleted community post, and admits to having reverse image searched what he thought was CP in the video. Obviously, Dawson French himself was called out for owning and reverse image searching what he believed was fucking CP, because that is weird.
Not only that, but they also put this censored CP, which, well, what they thought was CP, it wasn't actually, in the thumbnail of the video to like clickbait it. Like, imagine you're like making a video about like a fucking file, right? And in the video, for the thumbnail to clickbait people into watching it, you put a picture of the child they abused, naked but censored, and you're like, CP? Like, what the fuck? That is crazy. That is insane.
And the crimes
of CP are not protected under First Amendment rights and are illegal contraband under federal law. The legal definition of sexually explicit conduct does not require that an image depict a child engaging in a sexual activity. A picture of a naked child may constitute illegal CP.
So he deleted that community post to then lie about never having had the uncensored CP on someone else's YouTube video. Funny thing is that it only took 1 hour for people to find this tweet about that exact picture of 18-year-old Ivanka Trump being in a GQ magazine. It legitimately took 1 hour. 1 hour to not falsely accuse someone of distributing CP.
It's like he constantly lies to get himself out of.
And this is the same thing that happened with the James Warren video, right? He was like, oh, I'm looking into these charges. We'll see what happens. You know, I personally believe he beat his girlfriend, but, you know, we'll have to look into the charges. And then the charges ultimately turned up nothing. It was like, bro, come on. Come on. You could have just waited. You could have just avoided all of this. And with this one and two, like, he didn't learn. He didn't learn at all. They kept pushing this shit.
Trouble, and only when he's...
That was 18 CP? It's not. That's the point. It's not. But Dogpack ran with the possibility that it was, and then was like, oh, it is CP. This is disgusting. When it was an 18-year-old girl. Like, it is insanity.
Run out of lies, and in the face of a serious trouble, and he's run out of options, does he reveal the truth? Then he tries to pull the LOL I said allegedly thing again. I said, as Ava alleges. I said, in my opinion. I said, may. I said, if.
Yeah, this is the most disgusting one by far.
Like, the thing is, this can work if you're the one reporting on the allegations someone else makes, right? If you're like, this is what they said. I don't know if it's true. But this is Dogpack directly being the one with Rosanna to publicize this entire thing. Like, they are the ones directly making the allegation and spreading it. Rosanna claims she reported MrBeast to the FBI over this, which undoubtedly cost him a bunch of shit. Because for anybody, right, whether or not there's any validity to it, if somebody hears that you reported to the FBI, they're like, oh, it's over for them. It's serious now. They got reported to the FBI. The FBI is going to ruin their life now. They're going to investigate them. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's something going on. And in the end, there wasn't.
Well, actually, the CP was probably more disgusting. But
so either Dogpack knew that it wasn't CP and made those false accusations anyways, or he's just a fucking idiot who can't even use Google. But that wasn't the only lie in that video, was it, Dawson?
This isn't a work chat. This is just a small snapshot of a company chat, but it's, I think, one of many. I've heard that there's other company chats that they communicate on.
Yes.
And
it wasn't a work chat. It was created as an NSFW meme chat by already known degenerate Ava Christison. There's even
and this was like never really corrected. This was like never really corrected by Rosanna and Dogpack. They did not do their due diligence here. And the video's still up to this day. It's still fucking up, which is crazy. Like, it's very clear to me that Rosanna Pansino has a grudge against MrBeast, and she'll frame it as if she's like, oh, well, I'm just reporting on stuff that's happening, and I think it's important because MrBeast is a really bad dude. But realistically, while some of the individual claims she may make, like about the moldy lunch league, may be accurate, on a lot of the other points, she's clearly just pushing the entire fucking thing out of spite. And it's so clear, particularly with that one. Like, you're pushing this out of spite because you hate MrBeast, not because you think you're doing the right thing. It's very concerning.
Examples of Ava getting mad whenever anyone talks about anything work-related.
This is just a small snapshot of a company chat. Small snapshot of a company chat.
What you're saying, the things that you're saying are truly in good faith, and that you're not a disgruntled employee.
you can watch my video and like view it through the lens
no.
of, oh, this guy's just a disgruntled
No.
employee. But the evidence still speaks for itself. Of course.
However, at one point it was changed to a work chat by Ava, at which point she also kicked everyone unrelated out of there. But then the chat instantly died because obviously no one else, including Jimmy, wanted to use it as a work chat. Now, I will say that even though this image is confirmed not to be CP, Ava did seem to think it was at the time, and so this proves that she is even worse than...
Yes, this does prove that Ava is extremely, extremely irresponsible and willing to, in their belief, send what they think is CP to a group chat. But it doesn't prove that Ava actually did send CP to a group chat, nor does it prove that Jimmy knew, which was the entire point of that video. Jimmy knew, Jimmy knew, Jimmy knew. Well, clearly he fucking didn't. Or rather, it's unclear that he did know. I'll say that. I don't know that it's clear that he didn't know anything about Chris Tyson, but it's clear that in this case, there's not enough to say that he knew.
Than we thought, and is a disgusting individual. However, the way Dogpack tried distributing what he believes was a picture of a sexually abused child to thousands of possibly child viewers wasn't to inform people of degenerate Ava Christison, but instead was to push his own agenda, framing MrBeast into allegedly knowing that Ava was a confirmed pedophile. It's so disgusting. See, I say framing.
Yeah, because their biggest priority is not preventing the abuse of children. It is to go after MrBeast. That is it. It's every conclusion is, oh, Chris Tyson, but it's MrBeast's fault. It's like, come on, bro. Chris Tyson is a fucking degenerate. We know that. But like, you can't necessarily tie every little shred of evidence that you think you have to him. You just can't do that.
Because if you look at all of the messages around that image, it's a huge rant from not just Ava, but other people as well, about files exposed by the hacker group Anonymous. In this Twitter thread she linked with that picture of Ivanka Trump, because it was in that Twitter thread, as well as a rant about Jeffrey Epstein. And I don't think context matters here on Ava Tyson's side. I still think this is fucking disgusting. However, I do think context matters for the people perceiving Ava Chris Tyson's messages. I'm sorry, but if I'd see my friend actively ranting about pedophiles and bashing them, I'd actively be convinced to not think they're a pedophile when they send degenerate memes like this.
This is the funniest thing. They were like, oh my god. In the clip, Rosanna's like, oh my god, this is disgusting. And it's like, bro, it's a fucking meme. This is not proof of anything. It's a meme of a rat. It's a meme of a rat. Half the people in the fucking world have probably posted this to their Instagram story at one point, okay? This is like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, come on, bro. Her reactions, also her reaction to that like swastika Animal Crossing meme was so fucking performative, as if she gave a fuck. And if she does, she's literally retarded. And I find it very hard to believe that MrBeast, I find it hard to believe that Dogpack even cared about the swastika meme at all. MrBeast knew all along is the title. Yeah, good job, man. Pedo Maxing, thanks for the 10. I want to find that one particular Animal Crossing one because it was so funny, bro. Her reaction was unreal. Okay, this one is hilarious.
The warning signs weren't there, guys. I'm just finding out about this now. I only just became aware of Ava Tyson's behavior.
The proof that Jimmy knew about Tyson's behavior is right.
No, it's not.
Here.
No, it's not. It's a fucking meme. If you post a Jeffrey Epstein meme, does that mean that you f kids? What are you saying? The proof is right here. The proof is right here. Come on, bruh. No, it's not. And the shitty thing about this is, like, some of the more valid concerns about MrBeast are going to be swept under the rug because of how fucking idiotic these people are and how much of a grudge they have. They just want to make money off of it. They just want to make money, and probably more than that, they just wanted to have some excuse to shit talk MrBeast and feel like they got one over on him, and the evil Jimmy is being destroyed, right? These guys are probably going to get sued into oblivion, and it's kind of deserved.
I just cringe on the inside while thinking that they have a degenerate sense of...
Actually, I gotta find the Nazi one. Yeah, this one. Hold on. Yeah, here we go.
The Judge, Bub. It's a Roblox meme. Here's another one from Animal Crossing.
Oh no. It's so dark. I can't believe how dark it is. The Roblox meme, dude. It's darker than anything I could have ever imagined in my entire life. Where is that one? What is the timestamp of this? I know what happened. Oh yeah, this. Okay, yeah. Let's go.
It's just self-explanatory.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a ton of Nazi symbols. One thing that really bothers me.
Oh no, bro, come on, come the fuck on, dude. It's a fucking meme. It's a meme. Why does she hate MrBeast so much? He cut her out of a video a few years ago, I think. I gotta look more into it. I gotta read it again. I remember at the time, everyone just calling her a fucking idiot. I remember there was this one reply. I don't have it saved, but there's this one reply when she was like talking about her problem with MrBeast, and Brandon Buckingham, okay, friend of the show, he responded. He was like, are you disabled? And she was like, well, I do have dyslexia and ADHD. Literally the Brad Taste meme. Literally the Brad Taste meme, dude. It was absolute insanity. It was like extremely frustrating. Just the performative shit, as if Dogpack even cares. I know he doesn't care. Like, this guy told me he's a fan of the old iDubbbz. If you're a fan of the old iDubbbz, you can't seriously have a problem with a swastika meme in a group chat, right? Dog shit parodied content copy seen worse than this? Yeah, of course. Of course he has. But he's willing to go with it because he knows Rosanna doesn't like it. She's going to be performative about it. And then he's just going to run with it because, oh, fuck MrBeast, right? That's literally it.
Zoomer humor. Even Trey Yates, the person who leaked the work chat to Dogpack and Rosanna, refers to those memes as a weird thing Ava found funny in the past, instead of confirmed file messages.
A lot of the edgy type of content and a lot of the, you know, edgy cringe-lord humor started with Ava. Like,
this is the thing. We already have enough to know that Ava is weird. We already have enough to prove that Ava is a fucking weirdo. But what Rosanna and Dogpack want above all else is to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jimmy knew. And their evidence for that is a rat meme.
She sent a bunch of messages that probably shouldn't have been sent in a work group chat, just because she thought it was funny at the time.
So even he, who
It wasn't a work group chat.
actively dislikes MrBeast, didn't even notice.
So with all this evidence, I think it's definitely fair to say that Jimmy knew about a...
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not fair to say that at all, actually. There's no good evidence in that entire video. You are a fucking moron.
Tyson's behavior.
Basagi, Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack404 reported Jimmy Beast to the FBI, so he's gotta be a pedophile. I think people vastly underestimate just how easy you can report someone to the FBI. Even as a non-American citizen myself,
You can submit a tip online right now.
I just created this entire forum of Rosanna Pansino and Dawson French, aka Dogpack404, distributing CP in 2 minutes on tips.fbi.gov, which I will now submit to the FBI. Soggy Cereal reported Rosanna Pansino and Dawson French to the FBI. Holy shit, they've gotta be guilty now. See what I did there? Also, I didn't submit this because unlike 2 other creators, I'd rather not waste the FBI's time from finding actual CP distributors to push a selfish, manipulative, and personal agenda, and manipulating Rosanna Pansino so you could use her.
I don't think he manipulated her. I'm sorry, I don't buy this. She's too old for it to be like, oh, she was manipulated, and for me to feel bad for her, right? She's 40 years old. She knows what she's doing. If she somehow doesn't, she is legitimately a disabled person who needs to have a caretaker. Like, this is not a person who can just be so easily manipulated. I don't know if he went for this angle so he could try to get Rosanna to like turn on Dogpack, if that's ever going to happen. She will never say a good word about MrBeast. She will never retract any allegation she's ever made unless she gets fucking sued into the ground. That's literally it. And frankly, she might deserve it.
Bigger channel to spread this disinformation is so vile. Look, I knew you were petty, Dawson, but I never expected you to stoop this low. He also tried dragging the famous anime Higehiro and its fandom through the mud by saying it's about a 26-year-old having a romantic relationship with a minor.
Let's see if Jimmy knew about Ava's concerning behavior. June of 2021, he sends a message of an anime called Higehiro. It says, I bet Chris would love this show. Why?
What's this show about?
Well, it's interesting that you ask, because this show is about a romantic relationship between a 26-year-old salaryman and a 17-year-old high school runaway.
So Jimmy in the chats is saying, I bet Chris would love this show because it's right up her alley.
Why do you think Chris would love that show, Jimmy?
I mean, when I read this, I was like, could this not be a joke? Like, couldn't this just easily be a joke? Like, if we're to believe that MrBeast is so sociopathic that he's willing to throw anyone under the bus and destroy his relationship with anyone for success, why would he keep Chris Tyson around if he thought Chris was genuinely a fucking pedophile? Right?
MrBeast saying Ava would love this? Even though the anime is about the exact opposite.
He posted that one thing about the anime with the, like, a doll getting into a relationship with a...
That's, okay, here's the thing. That's a lie. That is such a bullshit lie. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He literally said...
Do we have the time? No. He
literally said, I think Chris would like this. Why would he say that, though?
No, the context of that anime, that show is about a 26-year-old guy, okay? He takes in this runaway girl who is selling herself to prostitution. She's like 17 or whatever, 16. I don't remember. She's 17, 16. She's selling her body because she ran away from home because some other shit happened. And I remember this because my friend tried showing this to me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It turned out it was actually a very wholesome show about this dude kind of teaching her, like, how to get through, like, all this trauma that she had in her life. There was never any romantic intentions there.
So I don't know the details on this anime, so it's hard for me to personally attest to what that anime is about, because I hate anime. But I will say, if you're going to make the claim that this show is about that, it should be inarguable that that is the case. It should be dead to rights inarguable that it's about literally anything else. And if it's not, you're going to get called out for it, and you deserve it. As for Cam Nuggets here, I think Cam Nuggets is just Cam Nuggets. I don't know what his deal is. He seems willing to accept literally any allegation about MrBeast as fact and just support it if he thinks that it can make him look bad and he can get some views off of it. There is a segment in this video about cam nuggets that got removed that I don't like, frankly. It was kind of funny, but I don't like it, where they basically falsely accuse Cam Nuggets of being a pedo. There's a clip for that I do have pulled up, actually. Let me grab that. You know, I think the argument was made that basically, like, the reason why this is being done to Cam Nuggets is because he was willing to push false allegations. I still don't think you should respond to a false allegation with another false allegation. That's kind of my take on that. So here, this is from a removed clip from the Soggy video, basically, where basically they say, Cam Nuggets likes being in Discords where little kids show their buttholes. And they show this out of context screenshot where Cam is saying, yo, mods, there's a little kid showing his butthole in Discord calls, where he's clearly calling out. He's clearly like, hey, mods, delete this kid. Get this kid out of the server. This is fucked up, right? But basically the way that Soggy Cereals framed it was he was in calls and he liked that was happening, right? Which is bad, which is quite bad. So I don't like that. That was done. I know Soggy deleted it from the video, so that's good, but I still don't like that. Here, Cam Nuggets wrote, the scumbag Soggy Cereal just accused me of watching minors inappropriate things because I reported one that was flashing the camera in a public Discord server called Edgy. The server is free to join and again public, and you're more than welcome to read the full context of this discussion by searching it. I understand you're trying to discredit Dogpack and expect this from smaller commentary channels, but as a 250k sub YouTuber self-identifying as a detective that does real journalism, you look pathetic calling out Dogpack and Rosanna for going after Chris Tyson, MrBeast, while making discussing out-of-context slanderous claims like this. Do better, homie. Now, Coben Seeth, who we had on stream recently, said the Cam Nation isn't doing well. The fact that Cam can't see the irony of this is actually insane. And I agree, there is an irony to it, but I still don't really like it. Oh, I do have the clip. Hold on, let me pull this up. I got to get it on Google Drive real quick. Actually, we'll just upload it to YouTube real quick. Got it saved on the pooter. Upload video. If you knew Cam Nuggets was, he deserves all this, and Soggy shouldn't have deleted it. The thing is, I don't think that Cam Nuggets deserves it. Or even if you think he does, I just don't think it should have been done. If Soggy wants to go out and call out false allegations, he needs to at the very least make it very clear that, like, oh, we could say this about Cam Nuggets, who had a weird thing on Discord, and explain it in full context. You know what I mean? The Cam Nuggets comment was similar to your Hyojin dropping dogs in their back thing, but it didn't land. Yeah, but to be clear, I don't really like the Hyojin dropping dogs in their back thing. I regret that looking back, and I have talked about that on YouTube, Nick. And also, yeah, I agree, it was completely poorly executed. Like I don't think. Optically speaking, especially for this kind, like a drama of this level, I think that was such a bad idea. Here's the clip.
This evidence, I think it's definitely fair to say that Jimmy knew about Ava Tyson's behavior.
Dawson, maybe look at the people you're working with. It's not a good look when your friend Cam Nuggets is revealed to be watching minors spread their assholes on Discord. And you want to know the worst of all? Dogpack and Rosanna.
Like that is funny, but it didn't land. And also, you have to explicitly say the context of this and point out the fact that this is not really a real allegation, right? He was like, you should be like, you could say this about this guy, but ultimately that wouldn't be true, and I would not support spreading false allegations like Dogpack did, even against my enemies. But that's not what he did. He just included the clip, no context. You know what I mean? That's not good, dude. That's not good. I don't think that's good. So yeah, Soggy Cereals, fuck up there. Can't deny it.
Sure, if you watch the anime in the first episode, the girl was coming on to him, but the guy rejected her and saw her as a daughter. That whole show. He had a whole nother love interest in that show this whole time. This was never about the dude getting into a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old.
You guys actively...
And this is what people said in the stream. Well, and like, it wasn't even people who were researching it. It was just people who had watched the show. I haven't seen the show. So to be clear, I'm not going to go on a limb and defend it. But if there's this much contention about it and about what it's actually about, it's so perplexing to me why Dogpack wouldn't just research it beforehand and why Rosanna wouldn't research it beforehand. But the ultimate reasoning why is because I don't think they really care to do the research properly. They just say, oh, fuck MrBeast. We need to get anything we can on him. And this video was probably this video Rosanna made is probably the most egregious one out of all of them. Although obviously as you look back, it seems like every single video had claims that were completely retarded.
Pissed off the entire anime side of Twitter with this one. So this again more so proves Jimmy didn't know.
So with all this evidence, I think it's definitely fair to say that Jimmy knew about Ava Tyson's behavior.
Want to know the worst of all? Dogpack and Rosanna used what they thought was a CP picture as clickbait for their fucking thumbnail. They tested 3 versions of it. You know, just trying to get some...
Dude, doing a thumbnail test, 3 different versions of the child thumbnail, 3 different versions. Like, I wonder which CP will work better when it wasn't actually CP, obviously, but still, they believed it was. Seemingly. So like even doing ABC testing on that is fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts, man.
More views by putting alleged CP in your quirky thumbnails? Will the allegedly abused child garner more views with a red background or the pink background?
I think pink. I think pink. Is it pink?
Following their logic, they are now both confirmed pedophiles and should have 100% known that of one another.
True.
I can't, dude. I can't. And this video, where they do all this, a Dogpack dares to try and invalidate my past accusations that his video IDs he came up with while working at MrBeast were weirding and creeping employees out.
I suggested a video for breast cancer awareness about buying 1,000 boobs. Like maybe not the most professional way to phrase it, you know, it's a little clickbaity or whatever, but like the actual video is supposed to be paying for mastectomies and cosmetic surgery.
But once again, if this is on the other side, if this is a title that MrBeast came up with, they'd be like, that's fucking disgusting and weird, right? They're literally looking at memes that were posted in a group chat that's like, I'm asexual predator. And the other meme with Animal Crossing with the swastikas, and they're like, this is disgusting. Rosanna went on this whole diatribe. She's like, my family fought in the Marines against the Nazis, and the fact you would even joke about this is disgusting. Like, bro, we can joke about serious subjects. Everyone knows you can joke about serious subjects. Come on.
For breast cancer survivors.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
With a thumbnail and title like these? Oh, wait. If this wasn't supposed to be creepy or weird, then why did you make
Did you see she's getting karma by seeing an article made saying she's smoking her dad and she got upset at the false information? Well, you don't have, what you don't understand is that Rosanna's a good person and MrBeast is evil. MrBeast is evil. Therefore, lying about him is justified, but lying about her is like, oh, what are you doing? She's Rosanna Pansino. She baked a cupcake once. I'm sure there's a good cupcake joke in here somewhere.
Sure to blur the title and thumbnail when showing it on screen. Don't be shy, I still got the sharp version. Oh, was it because 4 objectified headless pairs of boobs with the MrBeast clickbait face and the title, I bought 1,000 boobs, wasn't in line with your I'm not a weird creep agenda you were trying to push? Yeah, this, it's about cancer awareness.
You remember when he did that compilation trying to make Jimmy seem like he's like a misogynist? You remember that? He was like, Jimmy clearly hates women and is weird around women because he asked a woman to do like an IQ test or something, which is weird. That is an unorthodox, strange thing. But he's just willing to supercut a bunch of things together to make it look bad, no matter what it is. Because ultimately, he doesn't really care that much about the evidence. He just does not. He cares about making MrBeast look as bad as possible. And the same with Rosanna Pansino, which I really don't like. And once again, the bigger thing here, above all of this, like high level stuff, okay, big picture, macro YouTube drama economics is, if there are any valid claims against MrBeast, that stuff could easily be swept under the rug now because their reporting was so fucking bad.
Awareness message seems more like you realizing your manager didn't think that joke objectifying women was funny, and you're then desperately trying to save your own skin by
objectifying women is funny, make no mistake. They are objects to be used and abused. They're walking fleshlights. Keep that in mind.
You know, using cancer, especially when you also sent in these work IDs such as Baby Battle Royale with babies carrying assault rifles. MrBeast does every
literal Palestine moment.
Drug challenge? Were those also for Breast Cancer Awareness Month? Also, didn't you say that MrBeast is mainly targeted toward kids?
Encouraging like almost children simping for.
Check DM. Rosanna used smoking my dead dad as promo for her podcast and then got mad. Yeah, I did see that. Hold on. Oh, wait. So she literally said, I'm smoking my dead dad, and then got mad that people said she was smoking her dead dad. Also, I will say, it's not my place to say if this is disrespectful or not. I don't really care. If she does this, it's not my dad. I'm not like emotionally distraught. But this is fucking weird, bro. This is fucking odd. All right? Come on. Like, oh my God, how edgy is this? I turned my dad into a weed plant and I smoked him. Ooh, 420 blaze it. I'm so high right now, dude. Like, you're 40. You're 40. You're cringe. You're weird, dude. You're strange with your fucking feet out, trying to look all cute and sexy. Like, bruh, come on. Strange. I do bet he goes crazy, though.
For these people, I would say he's gained most of his audience since then, and his content's only gotten younger. Now, MrBeast intentionally manipulates these children's vulnerable minds.
What happened to that claim? Look, I expected them at the end of the video to say that it was some twisted parody. But, nope. They seemed pretty proud of their slanderous content where they admitted to committing multiple alleged federal crimes. So, same time next week?
But his collateral damage doesn't end with allegedly abused children. He also uses old people. For example, he tried using contestant 58 from the ages 1 to 100 video by claiming that he didn't really wink.
In this video, this wink was added in post.
And that number 58 didn't hear number...
That was weird. The wink added in post. I wasn't sure what to make of that. I was like, why even add a wink in post? And if he did, why does it matter that he added a wink in post? Like, couldn't they just have him wink?
42 getting out of the booth.
In fact, 58 was actually on the far opposite side of the room from 42, and he just didn't hear him.
And because of that, number 58, a 58-year-old man, was so confused and getting harassed online to the point he felt that he had to make a TikTok about it.
Hey guys, Mr. 58. Been a while since I've posted anything, but something's really been concerning me a little bit. I've been seeing things on the internet that have said I didn't wink in the MrBeast video 1 to 100.
The fact he's getting harassed over this is insane. He's getting shit because people are saying he didn't wink. Dude, you faked your wink, you sick fuck. Why did you not do a real wink? Did Jimmy abuse you when he added a wink in post?
I did wink. I winked a few times.
That was a cute dog.
The other thing that's been said is...
I did actually wink. The wink was real. I did wink. Let it be known I did wink. And not that kind of winking.
I didn't hear 42 say he was stepping out of his cube. Yes, I heard 42 say he was stepping out of his cube. I did it on my own accord to step out with 2 seconds left on the clock. I know of nothing.
Let me guess. Dogpack got a DM about this and just believed it and pushed it in a video regardless if there was any truth. That's my guess.
In that video that was staged whatsoever. And I don't know why these rumors are going over the internet that these things didn't happen. Everything that I did in that video, and nothing was edited after the fact. Everybody be good and have a great day.
This is just sad. I actually got mad seeing this old sweet guy get so upset. And what was Dogpack's proof for these claims? Well, I've got to preview the 1 to 100 video once, so now you've got to believe every baseless claim I make around it. Because you're so trustworthy, Dawson. I'd rather believe the sweet old guy who literally was in the video.
Everybody be good and have a great day.
He did it with Mark Bates, a random...
The weird thing is, like, even focusing on that allegation in particular, like, he added a wink in post. Who cares? Who cares he added a wink in post? Well, you see, it actually adds to the broader narrative that MrBeast fakes his videos. And it's like, but it's a wink. It's a fucking wink. Should we be focusing on things that actually matter, like the competition's being rigged, potentially?
Subscriber contestant.
I subscribed to MrBeast and literally won $1 million. I literally was in this video right here, and all I did was subscribe. I had no relationship with MrBeast or anything like that. And they flew me down to North Carolina. I live in Cleveland, and changed my life forever. Literally, all I did was subscribe.
Who won $1 million and then made a video after winning that prize, which Dogpack just took a very out of context clip from.
Another example of things slipping through the cracks.
The second thing that I probably would do different is invest. I talked to Jimmy after I won $1 million, after I finally got the remaining amount in my bank account. I was telling him, I was like, man, I don't want to fail. I don't want to be like how everybody's saying, like I'm gonna run out of money and do all this crazy stuff. I was like, man, Jimmy, please help me. And he said he was gonna help me and we was gonna invest, but yeah, that didn't happen. So.
Oh no, he didn't invest for Mark. Oh wait, what's this clip right after? Which Dogpack conveniently didn't put in his video?
Invest, but yeah, that didn't happen. So. Yeah, and let me clarify, Jimmy did help me. Cause I know, like I said, I know y'all be like, oh, he didn't help him enough. He did help me financially, but like giving me money he did give me funds.
Oh, so
well, that cut in particular wasn't the most deceptive thing, because in fairness, he's saying he helped him by giving him $1 million in the first place. It's still true, potentially, what this guy is saying about how MrBeast didn't help him invest after the fact. I don't think this is the biggest deal in the world, but it is still, you know, I don't think that cut was as deceptive as is being said. Because ultimately the clip that was cut out is him being like, he did help me giving me $1 million, but it doesn't change the narrative entirely.
MrBeast still funded Mark even after winning and spending the $1 million? Okay. Apparently they just...
Wait, hold on. Gave him more money? I didn't really get that.
They gave me funds.
Oh, so
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Giving me money he did give me funds.
Okay, funds that he could have used to pay for a financial investor. So, I mean, come on.
Oh, so
MrBeast still funded Mark even after winning and spending the $1 million? Okay. Apparently they just had him on a monthly salary at the MrBeast company without him having to perform any work there. Well, this...
That is insane. That is absolute insanity that Dogpack cut that out. Why? Why? I keep asking why, but the obvious answer is just that Dogpack is either literally the most disabled researcher of all time who watches 1 second clips and just throws that in the video. But the more likely explanation is he actually spent months researching this shit and just included the parts that made MrBeast look the worst. It's malice. There's no other real explanation for this, man. How is he going to respond? He's got to respond, right? There's no way he can't. There's no way Dogpack can just not respond to any of this. He's got to at some point.
This guy's a victim. Mark Bate himself was so fucking frustrated from Dogpack using this out of context clip to push his personal agenda that he made 2 more videos speaking out against all of the DMs he was getting from Dogpack's followers.
Channel everywhere. You guys been saying that I'm a victim of MrBeast and that he didn't help me. You've been talking about everything. It's not my story, so I really wanted to get up here and tell you guys that MrBeast really did come through for me, Jimmy. I love you.
Dogpack doesn't give a shit about who or what he uses or whose life he ruins just to push his own narrative, and it's fucking disgusting.
I mean, that seems true. He's willing to use anyone's story in a video that will get 30 million views, but then he'll correct it in the comment section. It's like, oh, well, I guess that wasn't exactly true, but I mean, you know, he still didn't really help him like he said he would. And it's like, but the guy in question doesn't even have a problem with it, so why are you even using his story, you know?
Showing out of context clips and snippets is so...
Whereas Viz monetized? No, that's the most perplexing part. They weren't monetized. He didn't even want money. He just has a vendetta against MrBeast and wants to fucking destroy him.
Something that Dogpack does a lot, by the way. He also did it with Mac when MrBeast asked him what he was gonna do with the $800,000 he won.
What are you gonna spend the $800,000 on?
You're way behind, dude. MrBeast DM Pyro and Pegasus to make pro MrBeast videos. Like, catch up, dude. You're behind, because I talked about that at the beginning of the stream. Who said that? Who said that? Pixie, you're banned in my chat forever. Goodbye. Before you accuse me of being behind, you better not be behind. You're nothing to me.
I got 3 friends of mine, childhood friends of mine, and they don't have a lot of money. I'm gonna make sure they don't have to worry about money anymore. I mean, my life's changed now.
Oh, wow. He's gonna give it to his 3 less fortunate friends? Well, that is so kind. Let's see what Dawson made of this.
Bathrooms.
What are you gonna spend the $800,000 on?
I mean, my life's changed now.
Yeah, I'm sure that $800,000 is really gonna change your life.
Oh, he got that whole part out to insinuate Mac was gonna spend it on more bathrooms in his huge mansion that he didn't even have.
Mac started working full-time on the editing team at MrBeast. Also, he didn't just move into any old house, he moved into a $1 million mansion. His 6,000 square foot $1 million mansion.
Why would he do this if he knows most, if not all, what he's saying is false? He knows he's going to be sued into oblivion, right? Maybe he's delusional. I don't know. Maybe he's actually a crazy person. Maybe he genuinely thought it would never come back to bite him. I do not know. Ultimately, we'll have to wait to see what his explanation is. Maybe he's going to be like, oh, actually, here's the real evidence. The soggy cereal's left out. But I feel like, based on this, the only real response that he could give is like, well, soggy cereals is paid off by MrBeast or something. I feel like that's the only real thing he could go for. I feel like that's the only real angle he could give.
It comes with a movie theater and 7 bathrooms.
See, I saw the actual property listing and, well, obviously I can't show this, so you've got to trust me on my word. But the house is on the name of another editor at MrBeast, which Mac was sleeping over at because he himself didn't have a house. But Soggy, didn't you expose Mac for being a liar? Why are you now picking his side? I don't pick sides, nor do I just blindly hate every person I criticize. What am I? A disgruntled employee acting like a toddler? Mac left Iraq after.
Nick in chat says, MrBeast reaching out to commentary channels to look at a video debunking Dogpack was only stupid because he thought audience capture freaks will care. I don't really think so. I think it is still like worthy to note here that obviously this video, you know, which is it's kind of framed as like, oh, well, this is an impartial video. I'm going to call it MrBeast, and I'm also going to talk about the valid claims. But I'm also going to debunk all the false shit from Dogpack. You can still acknowledge that there clearly is some kind of like, you know, personal bias involved here where MrBeast wants this video to be platformed to the largest extent. I think that's still worth noting, you know? I think it's still worthy of note for sure, you know? Like, who knows? Maybe this video will have a lot of questions around it in the future. I mean, initially everybody thought that a lot of Dogpack's claims that are being questioned here were completely bullshit, you know? And now it's like, okay, the tables are being turned, but there could be other motivations there, you know? I mean, that there easily could be. I don't think it's as simple as audience capture freaks will care. The majority of people who are like, there's some grand conspiracy behind it, like, obviously that is I don't think it's necessarily bad for MrBeast to message this to people, but still, it's like, is there other stuff that's being left out of this that should be talked about? You know what I mean? Like that CoffeeZilla video. I feel like MrBeast should have to respond to that. It wasn't a dig at you more at Pegasus. I mean, Pegasus's explanation, I feel like, was not super great, because if he's gonna cover this stuff and like act like he's impartial about it, I think he needs to cover this video. I think he should. I know he had some falling out with Soggy Cereals, which is fair, but regardless of that, I think he needs to put that aside and be willing to cover this if he's gonna address the other shit, right? I think it's important. I will say that about Pegasus, faux show.
And by the way, I've never seen Mac try and use fake CP to push a personal agenda. Also, Dogpack, take that clip from my video out of yours, cause now you're using my content to push your lies.
So over the next 7 days, I'm gonna be giving 1,000 random people that subscribe a free Samsung Galaxy S24.
How is this legal? I don't get it. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel.
All you have to do to enter to win one of these phones is subscribe.
It's a scam. Holy shit.
Samsung giveaway was legit. Here you can see old testimonies from random subscribers who won and got contacted by MrBeast. Also, PewDiePie never bashed that clip. It's just another example of Dogpack's manipulative editing.
Really?
Now, even though we've only touched the tip of the lies of—
Wait, why not explain how it's manipulative editing? If it was, why not show that? I don't really get how it's manipulative editing, really.
Dogpack iceberg so far. I preemptively want to ask Dawson, why would you knowingly spread all of this disinformation? Now, Dogpack, something you really shouldn't say because it would make you look real dumb, is either—
He mentioned the fact that he is not a professional journalist or investigator, just a guy throwing allegations around for other people to properly investigate.
As you did in a desperate attempt to save the little credibility you had left after falsely accusing someone of domestic violence and kicking their dog in your third video. Because this is what you said in your first video, which I'm also disproving.
And I don't want to put a lot of like hearsay into this video. You should just believe the receipts that I'm showing you and not what I'm saying.
Well, I've looked at the receipts, Dawson, and so far they're telling me that you're a lying asshole. And before you try and defend yourself with plausible deniability, I'll just play this clip.
MrBeast.
When do you think the lawsuit will drop? I'd assume his lawyer's working on it for a while. I don't know. I mean, part of the problem with the lawsuit is Dogpack seems like he's like running away and hiding. Like he physically is running away. And to actually get a lawsuit in there, right? To actually get a lawsuit to go through in the courts, you have to physically serve that person. And so basically what has to happen here is there needs to be like a private investigator to figure out where Dogpack is and physically serve him the lawsuit, right? You can't just serve someone a lawsuit over email. He has to be physically served the lawsuit in his hands by a lawyer or a police officer or someone like that. So that's basically what has to happen there, right? You just got served. Yeah. Like you remember when a lot of people will try to evade lawsuits being served. Like you remember Dylan Dennis during that whole Logan Paul thing? He was like, they were trying to serve him at his gym and he was just walking away as if he didn't know what was going on. That's what has to happen. So we have to dox him. No, do not dox Dogpack. That is not your responsibility. If MrBeast wants to serve him a lawsuit, then he will be physically served in person. You do not dox Dogpack. Do not.
Beast knows this, but you know he's a poker player. He likes a little bluffery, a little plausible deniability.
Also, me disproving cheap attempts at slander from this guy doesn't mean I'm defending this guy. I know a lot of people believe in the delusion that defending MrBeast is the safe option. I know there's people have been living under a rock lately, but defending MrBeast right now is actual career suicide. While regurgitating Dogpack's lies is the easy and safe way to generate millions of views and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But in my opinion, blindly taking either side should be heavily frowned upon, because there are some very questionable and up decisions MrBeast has made that he needs to be held accountable for. And I'll get to that. However, to effectively criticize him, help genuine victims, and hold him morally and legally accountable, we must first clear the table of all of the lies that have been spread by
all of
French, aka Dogpack404, such as the lie of Feastables using child slavery. It takes a
That was a big one. The idea that Feastables used child slavery because they had this little badge that was taken off their website, right? I remember this. And I remember watching the video and the guy was like, it's allegedly, but I'm not saying it definitely happened. But I think it did happen for sure. And I was like, I don't know. You need to have definitive proof of him using child slaves. You need to literally have reports and videos of it fucking happening to know that he uses child slaves. Every company does. Well, yeah, I still don't think it's a good thing to do, though. Like, you can still criticize him if he does use child slaves. You know what I mean?
Single Google search to find several public articles to prove that from October 2023, the same time when they took their slave-free banner off of the Feastables website, they've been in talks to join Tony Chocolonely's Open Chain Ethical Sourcing Initiative, and did so officially from March 2024, which, if you don't know, Tony Chocolonely's is a Dutch chocolate brand known for their goal to produce chocolate as ethically as possible, and one of few companies legitimately doing so. I mean, now Feastables is the first major US-based company who joined them with the goal to actively reduce child labor and slavery in the chocolate production.
Wait, why did the guy that made that video not just include this? Oh, probably because he just wanted to go after MrBeast and did not give a fuck. Did not care at all.
Process. But then, why they take slave-free banner off of Feastables website? Well, dear Dogpack, already typing that question up on Twitter, you can literally read the answer on the Tony Chocolonely's website. Why did you make the switch from slave-free to exploitation-free? We've adapted our mission messaging to help us express the scope of impact work we do today. When Tony started, we were laser focused on one issue in the cocoa industry, but as we've grown, our areas of impact have grown too. Our mission statement needs to be inclusive of all the work we do today, from addressing multidimensional poverty to remediating child labor and everything in between. Wow! It took one Google search to not falsely accuse someone of using child slavery? Yes. For the people who don't know, Dogpack did falsely accuse someone of DV.
Yes! Yes! Get his ass!
Put out his third video, MrBeast's Secret CEO, in which he was later proven to have accused an innocent man, James Warren, MrBeast's cousin, of domestic violence. He later admitted this on Twitter after his own source disproved him and he looked into it himself, only to find out he accused the wrong guy.
That Slander's video is still up, by the way, after more than a month of people begging him to take it down. Disclaimer, he took it down a few days ago, but after almost 2 months and 3.1 million views, you're not getting off the hook that easily, dog.
And once again, this is my biggest issue with like Pegasus, for example, which is like Pegasus will make a video about the claims about James Warren and say like, oh, it's alleged, which is fair. It is alleged, but he will never, on the More Pegasus channel at least, seemingly do a video where he's like calling out Dogpack for the fact that Dogpack literally took the video down, and even before that had to publicly acknowledge that the charges were not real. Like, that's very concerning. Like, at that point, you're just essentially grifting off these allegations. And it's fine. If you want to make money, I'm happy for Pegasus making buckets of money off this shit. Based, cool. But at least make a video calling out Dogpack at some point, rather than just, you know, going with the convenient narrative where every single video can be, he finally got caught. The newest allegations are disgusting. He's done. Finally finished. Like, come on, bro. Come on. It's super shitty. And he made this community post all about it. He says, so I talked to MrBeast behind the scenes in a couple calls. We had a real genuine conversation about everything. Jimmy admits he did a lot wrong, but also wants to clarify a lot of the misinformation and lies about him as well. We had a good off-the-call record we agreed to not record, where he had a few responses that cleared up some confusion and helped his case. We set up an actual interview to post on the second channel, and I asked him about every single allegation. I prepared questions for 2 days. He seemed excited about finally getting his perspective out there, but last minute, before the recorded interview, his team canceled and said they want to do an in-person interview rather than an online one. Spoilers, I don't live in America, so we can't do that. Why? He can't just travel? I don't get it. He can't... Is his passport revoked? He can't travel internationally? I don't think it makes a difference at all, and you guys wouldn't really mind an online interview. We just want him to respond. He then apologized to me for wasting my time, but yeah, that's what happened. Anyways, if he changes his mind, I'm still down. You can expect a fair interview with hard-hitting questions. I keep it real and do not bend for bigger YouTubers. It means nothing to me. Well, how based are you? I also think it's best to do it on this channel specifically. He convinced the most people here. Has this been the forefront of the drama? Why would he convince the most people? You haven't platformed a single criticism of Dogpack404 in any of your videos. Your audience is full of sycophants who have been riding this controversy for months, thinking that MrBeast is literally the devil. Why would your channel be the best? Why would your channel be the best at all? You don't even know what the fuck is going on. You just repeat what Dogpack says and are like, well, that's alleged, but it's crazy if it's true. So guys, this is actually like crazy. Why would you be the best channel? As for Soggy's videos, some things were right, some were pretty wrong too, but feel free to watch it if you want. I may cover it later on, but I'm obviously more interested in talking to MrBeast so we can finally finish the saga for real. Now, what you're actually interested in is getting the 10 million view MrBeast interview. You should be more interested in dealing... If you're willing to platform the allegations about MrBeast and say allegedly all the time, why are you not willing to platform the allegations in his favor? The allegations about Dogpack404. Why? If you're willing to just be like, I'm going to cover all the allegations about MrBeast and say allegedly, but you know, not really give any caveats and not really give him an out, then why are you not willing to also talk about the other shit? Let me see the audience of sycophants down here. This is the audience that he should be responding with, okay? Don't be lured into their own territory. There is no reason nor any difference to do that interview online. In fact, it'd be more genuine to do a live stream of that interview if Jimmy wants a genuine response. So he dodged the interview. I understand he's extremely busy, but it's over the phone. I'm sure he has enough time to at least help clear his name that's being tarnished everywhere. If MrBeast is talking to you, that means he's in damage control. Keep the pressure on. Come on, bro. Keep in mind, folks, there's always enough time if you're trying to save your reputation and aren't lying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Dogpack has it in him to, or sorry, I don't think Pegasus has it in him to go after Dogpack at all. I think he's scared. Because he would fucking destroy the audience that he has built up over these past few months who just want to see MrBeast destroyed. It's kind of spineless. I don't like it, bro. I don't like it.
Dawson. And the video of the false CP allegations is also still up. He also made life-ruining allegations against Lokoya Hill, who was the person that made the decision to fire Dogpack. Here's an audio clip from the leaked firing interview at Beast.
I'm Lokoya, I'm our CEO. Part of my job is you're pushing back on everything that we're saying. So what?
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt me. And I am telling you this is what's happening, and you're telling me that I'm wrong. I am not wrong. I've made the decision. Here, we will take care of.
I appreciate that. Can I please have a second chance?
It's not.
Just I'm getting paid. Just let me come in and let me try to be coachable. If Hoodie changes his mind, can I? I've been trying to get to this point of working on MrBeast for a long time.
I wonder.
He's so desperate to work for him, bro. He's on his hands and knees. Man. How did Dogpack not mention Lokoya accused of SA and harassment fired him in person? Well, I think the obvious answer is he knew it would look bad, right? Like, he could have at least acknowledged, like, now this is the guy who fired me. Obviously, you can believe if I have a personal vendetta against him, that's fair. I did beg for my job back, but at the same time, there's all these allegations that I think are important to cover. But he didn't say that because he didn't want that to be public, because he knew it would look bad. He knew he would look like a vengeful schizo ex-employee who's mad and wants his job. He never would have exposed MrBeast. Ever, if he had had the job. He'd probably be defending him on Reddit.
Why he's trying to destroy Lokoya's life?
I think there are other people at the company, if I were to switch departments, that would be very happy to have me. I don't care about the salary.
It's not what happened to you.
Or Doc Scara.
She's your hiring manager.
Or put a picture of his manager on his psychotic wall for no reason but personal spite. Coincidentally, all three of those people were in the room when Dogpack was fired.
I'm our CEO.
Car, we are still going to reimburse you.
This is the original contract.
Oh my god.
It's like he's just doing all this out of a personal grudge.
It's almost like he's sending a message to them like, this is what you did to me, now fuck you. Dude, it's literally like the fucking... It's like, dude, it's literally this. It's literally the fucking syndrome meme. Crazy, bro. Fucking crazy. I almost feel bad for him. He just wanted Jimmy to like him. He just wanted Jimmy to like him, dude. That's literally it. Not my precious Jimmy. Does anyone have the Not My Precious Jimmy clip in chat? Someone? Does anyone have Not My Precious Jimmy? Please. Oh, Smaggle has it.
But not our Jimmy.
Couldn't be our precious Jimmy. Stealing them blind. And he gets to be a lawyer. What a sick joke. I should have stopped him when I had the chance.
And you have to stop him.
Literally everyone right now. Literally fucking everyone. This is chat. This is chat, dude. This chicanery.
Yes.
We will lie if we have to. I mean, of course. I just try to be honest, I guess.
What is selfless hero? You know, a selfless hero who, whenever he can, mentions that he didn't make these slanderous videos with any personal gain in mind.
That's like the whole point of this is the video's not monetized. It's on a new account.
Wait, what do you mean that's the whole point? You didn't say that.
Like, you know, in the description of my video, it says, or in the intro too, it says this is not monetized. Because if it's monetized, then people think I'm just doing it for clout and money.
But you're doing it to expose the truth on woke media.
Exactly.
But you're doing it to expose the truth on woke media.
Exactly.
This is textbook.
Why was Ludwig right? What the fuck? Why was he right? That's so disturbing. I have to give a W to the Ludwiger? What the hell?
Manipulation. Him saying he's not gaining anything out of these videos is extremely deceptive. He gained 700,000 loyal subscribers, collaborations with huge creators which he's clearly trying to abuse, and it's all built on lies, deceit, and manipulation. If there is one person who gained anything from all this, it's Dogpack. And purely out of principle, I'm putting a mid-roll ad here. Here Dogpack talks about how MrBeast scammed everyone by having people pay to get their memes sent to the moon, the rocket exploding, and them not offering refunds.
Yeah, this was because he's supposed to control the rocket bursting into flames.
First of all, people have shown proof of getting refunds even before the failed launch, just because it took longer than expected. Second of all, have you thought about a second launch?
The evidence speaks for itself, though.
And as usual, I don't just have to take Dustin's word for it. The news article, which you put in your proof document, literally states the following. However, failure would not mean the end for S-Robotic, which is the company MrBeast paid to carry a copy of the hard drive filled with the memes. It's certainly going to have some impact on our relationships and our ability to secure additional missions in the future. S-Robotic already—
It was so easy to just find this out, too. And he just didn't do it. He just didn't do it. And it was just so much info being thrown out at once that nobody had the time to fact check every single claim. But it all seems bogus. Was there anything Dogpack got right? Like anything?
Already has a contract to fly another robotic lunar lander mission for NASA later this year. And this conveniently went unmentioned in your video.
3 years later, the spaceship finally launched, carrying beautiful pictures of deceased loved ones to the moon, where they would be immortalized. It fucking exploded.
Side note here, Dogpack also uses another very manipulative tactic where he shows this stinky, dinky scrap metal rocket instantly exploding, which made people believe that MrBeast was really trying to nickel and dime this entire space mission, while in reality the actual spacecraft carrying the hard drive was a high-quality Vulcan Centaur rocket made in collaboration with NASA as well as the ULA.
Yeah, like you can't just send a random rocket into space. You can't just do that. You can't just build a rocket of your own accord without like federal licenses. Like this is not a simple process. It's hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars even, to send a rocket into fucking space.
Rocket launching a new—
Only thing he got right was Ava Tyson being a weirdo, but everyone already knew that is the thing. Like everyone already knew Chris Tyson was a weirdo. All of that information came out before he even entered the picture. So he didn't even really get that right. He happened to get it right. Everyone already knew about that.
New era.
That's one thing I'm very curious about if Beast is going to respond to that kind of shit. Because I think he needs to.
In spaceflight to the moon and beyond.
Stinky dinky rocket. High quality spacecraft carrying the hard drive with memes from MrBeast. Dogpack's manipulation. Reality. But Soggy,
like the only additional evidence that they had on Ava Tyson was unironically a false allegation they made towards Ava, which is crazy. It was insanity.
What about the insider knowledge he has from working there?
In my opinion, as somebody who worked for MrBeast,
it has been proven time and time again,
so
he only worked there for 20 work days. As a new employee in like a 250 to—
which he lied about, by the way. He lied saying he worked there for longer, which is just not true.
300 employee company? You're not gonna get much credible insider knowledge in 20 days.
He talked about Delaware too. Yeah, but it seems like he f***ed that up too. Like, was he a domino in the sequence? Yeah, but it wasn't presented honestly in the video, was it? It just wasn't.
But he
just took Jake Little's word and was like, that's true.
But he also had anonymous text messages from ex-MrBeast employees. Well, see, I have two notes on that. One is that I feel like anonymous text messages can be used as tangible proof if either you have the receipts to back them up, or you as a person can be trusted to not have faked or manipulated them.
True. Very true. Anonymous text messages are a good starting point for other shit, but generally, it's like the same thing with like Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia can be a useful source, but for Wikipedia, you have to click through into the sources that are linked to make sure everything that's written there is accurate. You can't just trust it. What Dogpack essentially did was say, oh, I got a DM from this guy, so it must be true.
Which, I don't think we can trust Dawson on that one. And two, even if those messages are from legitimate ex-MrBeast employees, they're wrong. This text, for example, which Dogpack uses as a foundation for MrBeast rigging his challenges, according to them, after a shift change in the 100 Boys v Girls video, no girls were eliminated when closing off their circles, so it was pretty much rigged. They think? Okay, love the lack of confidence in their own claims, and the lack of confidence makes sense. Because if you simply watch the 100 Girls v Boys video, you can clearly see a girl got eliminated during that part of the challenge. And in this behind the scenes video, you can even see how many cameras they had to make sure the challenge wasn't rigged.
So we could constantly monitor it. This is the kind of stuff we
See, this is the thing. Dogpack gets a DM and he looks for evidence that, you know, specifically confirms that, but he's not willing to acknowledge evidence that doesn't confirm it or that goes against that narrative. And this is, at this point, we're at multiple levels of like we're at like a video responding to claims that Dogpack made, which is responding to MrBeast. So now for Dogpack to respond, it's going to be like absolute cancer because he has to respond to this video that's about his original videos. He's going to have to make like a 5-hour-long response if he wants to try to debunk this at all. And I can't imagine how good it will be, but I guess we'll have to see.
We don't normally show. We had to have 6 or 7 people here monitoring every angle because if they just touch the red line, they're out.
He also used this video as a prime example of MrBeast never using random subscribers, even though multiple people who can be identified by their nameplate can be proven to be random, non-influencer contestants from outside of North Carolina.
They are never random subscribers. If you subscribe, you will not win $1 million.
I subscribed to MrBeast and literally won $1 million.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including...
Just instantly doxes this person. Instantly is like, hey, here's her LinkedIn, by the way, so you can go send her messages if you want. It's like, bruh, really?
Jimmy's own girlfriend.
Yeah, Dawson. Because they were filling in for contestants who had COVID at the time. You can see MrBeast's girlfriend publicly talking about this in a podcast from years ago, by the way.
I saw on your Twitter that you were in the video 100 Girls vs 100 Boys for $500,000.
Yes, that was an accident. On the day, everybody had to go for COVID tests, and a lot of people came, got their COVID tests, and they tested positive. And the girls somehow ended up with way too little contestants. So I got a call randomly from the studio, and they're like, we need a female.
What, you wanted them to let contestants with COVID participate in the challenge? And in the
yeah. And they will not wear a mask. They will not wear a mask. They will not be vaxxed. That would be cringe. They cannot have the grape flavor. Not cool.
This podcast, she also says that the contestants were informed beforehand that even if they lost, they'd still receive the $5,000 prize money.
Which was the plot twist. Even if you leave, you get to keep the $5,000, which makes it easier for people to leave the circle.
Yeah.
So the goal was, it was sort of a psychological test, really.
And the people know that if they left, that they would still win.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the big plot twist, which I'm a huge fan of.
So not only were you wrong on all accounts, this is probably the worst video you could have possibly tried building your case on, that MrBeast challenges are rigged. And then your only other example of this accusation is the "in 10 minutes this room will explode" video.
I want to show one more example. This is a real-time video, meaning that time elapses the same in the video as it does in real life. And the timer is clearly added in post.
Okay, this is just getting embarrassing at this point, but you sent me this picture, Dawson, to seem more credible by proving you were on the set of a video. And if you look real closely at the picture that you took, you'll notice that it's the set from the 10-minute video, where you can see that the timer was in fact not added in post.
So you can assume that producers might be off camera
No!
with switches to trigger the flow of water.
Assume my ass. You didn't assume shit. You're breaking your NDA by spreading confidential info you knew from.
And like seemingly lying about it too. Breaking NDA and then lying about it. What the fuck? Why? Is he like delusional? I don't get it.
Being on that set. And yes, I do give permission to anyone whose life got damaged by Dawson French to use my video against him in court.
The producers might know how long it takes for the water to clear out of the drum, so they can sort of decide on the fly how many turns of the valve it takes, or just when to trigger the water in general to make the results close.
No, they did it for safety, as to not force someone to exert extreme force trying to turn valves underwater
In fairness, this is just one employee's testimony against Dawson's testimony, so it doesn't necessarily prove that. But in the absence of proof, like Dawson has no proof for this claim, you can only assume that employee is telling the truth for now until we see more contradictory evidence, right? Like we can't just take his word for it ultimately, right? Damn. This is so bad. This is so fucking bad for him, man. I just don't get why. Fuck. All right. I got to get some water and piss, but when I'm back, we will continue down the rabbit hole in a way that you can't even imagine. And there's also a lot of other Beast stuff we have to go over today. Apparently there's a new lawsuit. So give me like 2 minutes, I'll be back, okay? Yo, what's up, gang? What's up? My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah. Can I get an I'm gooning? I'm gooning. The thing is, you can't just get a clip whenever you want, okay? It has to be the right conditions, or hundreds of dollars, but it has to be the right conditions. Stop gooning after subbing. Thanks, Tom. You're welcome, bro. I'm glad you're on that wave now. All right, with that being said, we got to get back to this video.
In a room submerged in water. Just like they replaced contestants who had COVID with employees, because for safety reasons. A thing you so vehemently claim they lack at the company. Same with this video, where a safety team forced the MrBeast crew off of their raft in the 7 Days Stranded at Sea video for about an hour, because of this dangerous lightning storm. Wait, what was it you said again?
You can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds. But you didn't spend the night soaked, Jimmy. You slept on the production yacht.
Oh yeah. You lied about them allegedly sleeping on a luxurious production yacht. No, they were forced to stay on a rusty barge for about an hour for their own safety, and went back on their raft as soon as a life-threatening lightning storm.
Well, the question to me would be, shouldn't he provide more proof for that if that's the case? Because this guy is just saying this. He's just saying that that's the case. But I don't know that that's the case. Obviously, Dogpack made the claim and he didn't have proof in the first place. But if you're going to respond to him, I feel like it is good to have contradictory evidence towards that. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of seems to me that this guy is, like, kind of taking another employee's word as fact, which is kind of the same thing Dogpack did. And I feel like you should probably have some kind of thing here. You know what I mean? Probably have some kind of contradictory evidence to that. Why are all these YouTubers defending MrBeast when he won't even speak out and defend himself? Dude has said nothing except cry over his Lunchables. All right, if you don't understand why people would want to push back against false claims about anyone, you're
Past. And here is video proof from the rusty barge.
Oh, shit. Wait, okay, he does have a video of it, okay.
Wow, what a luxurious yacht. Now you can still argue about
I mean, I would still like to see proof that they actually slept on that thing. I guess it's hard to get. This is more than Dogpack had, but I would still like to see proof that they actually slept on it, but that is more compelling than what Dogpack had for sure.
the fact that they went off of the raft, but I don't think it's faking a challenge when you're forced by your safety team to leave your raft once to get on a rusty barge for about an hour to sit out a life-threatening lightning storm, to then get back on the raft as soon as possible. It's making sure people don't die. On one side you're preaching, the MrBeast company isn't safe enough.
Wow.
But then you use every single example
That's
of
awesome.
them actually implementing safety protocols against them as if they're doing it to rig challenges or not always use random subscribers. Do I really have to explain why they don't use complete strangers in challenges that include a man and a woman having to stay together in a small enclosed space for 100 days? Pick a side, Dawson. Do you want them to fucking die for a challenge, or do you want them to be saved? Guess why the
Well, I think what he really wants is just to paint Beast Co. LLC, whatever the fuck it's called, as poorly as possible. The principles, I think, behind it don't really matter if he's contradicting himself this much. Right? I think that much is probably obvious.
24 people in a circle for $1 million video didn't get published, which Dawson insinuates was some elaborate scheme to force more people to buy shirts, and then they'd run away with the profit.
We're gonna have 24 people. We're gonna put them in 24 different circles. $1 million on the line. Have some fun. You know what I'm saying?
Also, this video never happened. There is no MrBeast video of 24 people in circles competing for $1 million. So, like, did they just pocket the money or what?
Well, again, it was because of peak COVID. And this time, I'll let the contestant who took part in that 24 people in the circle for $1 million challenge explain what happened. I've heard that you were in the 24 people in a circle compete for $1 million challenge.
Yep.
Can you talk a bit about how you were invited to that challenge, what kind of happened, why it was never published?
MrBeast started that 24-hour live stream where he was signing t-shirts and giving stuff away for that challenge. So I threw that on. I'm like, look, we'll just put this on in the background. We'll watch it the whole time. And he's giving away tickets, and I just kept blowing up the comment section. I didn't even buy a shirt. I won one of the invitations through the comment section on YouTube.
Oh, for free, as like a free participation, no purchase necessary.
Yeah, during like the height of COVID and everything. It was actually in November.
What I'm so perplexed about is like, why would Dogpack just not reach out to these people, at least to cover his bases for his own self-preservation? Like, there are probably still points he can get MrBeast on. Like, there's definitely got to be shit, but he wouldn't even reach out to these people to get confirmation. I don't understand, man. Like, it's just so, like, is it just he has nothing to lose, so he'll just say anything?
We quarantined for 2 weeks. It was a super nice hotel, like, you know, 2 bedrooms. They'd bring meals to our room 3 times a day. It was good food, you know, just wanting to keep everybody safe and make sure that we're doing protocols the best way that we could to engage in this video. We all COVID tested, did a giant circle. There was 24 of them.
Not Vixio says, I don't know if I can say this, but MrBeast DM me on Twitter thanking for spreading Saga Hero's video around to spread the truth. Yeah, I mean, you can say it. What do you mean? You can definitely say it. I said it. You realize no one can go after you for leaking a DM if there's no pretense that you can't leak it, right? You didn't sign an NDA. I showed the DM.
Of us, and right in the middle, there's $1 million. And we competed for a few days. All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, one of the subcontractors that worked for the team came in and kind of rushed the gun and didn't wait for his COVID results. And he tested positive. And Jimmy came out and he's like, guys, I hate to do this, but one of the guys on the crew has tested positive. I got to keep you all safe. So they canceled the video and they apologized. They sent us all home with 10 grand as an apology. After the new year in January or something like that, we actually got the call again that they were going to refilm this video. And they brought us all back out and they're like, it's not going to be a 2-week quarantine. We're going to do like a 4 or 5 day quarantine. And during that period of time, pretty much everybody got COVID, including myself. Like, he's just like, I'm so sorry, but like, we literally just, we can't do it because everybody's sick, but we'll make it up to you in the future. And again, even then, he gave us like financial contributions to help.
Did they split just like the $1 million over everyone?
Exactly.
Or they just split the entire $1 million prize money over every 24 contestants.
They took the $1 million and divided it through the 24.
They gave you guys $1,240,000 in total, I guess.
To stay in a hotel room.
Jesus Christ. You guys get the point that this guy is about as trustworthy as Richard Nixon during Watergate. And at this...
Richard Nixon did nothing wrong. You take that back. Richard Nixon is fucking cool. He's based, dude. Breaking into the DNC, okay? That was fucking sick. That's what you should be doing as a politician. That was enough Richard Nixon slander, okay? Come on. He ever played 5 on Black Ops? He was awesome during that. Leave him alone. Leave him alone!
At this point, he has broken his NDA, committed serious defamation time and time again, and in the process harmed not just MrBeast, but also several other innocent people who clearly mean nothing more to him than collateral damage.
True.
I'm actually surprised people don't want this guy sued, but hey, I'm no lawyer, so I don't know what's illegal. So I called one, and what Dawson is doing is surely not legal. By now, the results of an investigation done into the MrBeast LLC by an external third-party law firm have been shared and completely aligns with all of the evidence I've found. So if at this point you still choose to believe
well, hold on.
MrBeast LLC by an external third-party law firm have been shared and completely aligns with all of the evidence.
Yeah, but we don't have the specific inner workings of that, of what that law firm found or didn't find, right? Like, we don't really have proof of that. We know that nothing, I would guess that probably nothing illegal happened. Okay, I would say that's probably true. As far as unethical stuff, there could still be concerns there. But realistically, this law firm stands to lose a lot if they cover up illegal behavior from the MrBeast LLC. I don't think anything illegal happened. Like, here they write allegations of sexual misconduct, e.g. pedophilia, grooming, child pornography, etc. between company employees and minors are without basis. The allegations are soundly rejected, including by alleged victims. This, legally speaking, is true. Legally speaking, is true. Legally, I don't think that Chris Tyson did anything illegal, but it's still fucked up and weird, right? So, like, 2 things can be true at once. The problem is the allegations were tons of illegal shit and people were drugging and people at work. Well, yeah, of course, right? That is the problem. People took the allegations very, very far. What MrBeast, like, claims about MrBeast can still do things that are wrong without it being illegal. Chris Tyson can still do things that are wrong without it being illegal. Like, they're claiming that child was shared. There's no proof of any actual child being shared whatsoever by any MrBeast employee. That just, we don't have any proof of that at all.
Evidence I've found. So if at this point you still choose to believe this guy, I kindly want to ask you to stop.
So MrBeast is a good guy. I wouldn't say that, but like once again, like I don't think there's like heroes or villains in this story. There are people that are more wrong, people that are more right. MrBeast is clearly much less guilty of a lot of this shit than we thought. But there can still be claims about him that are true. There are still, like, adequate questions to ask, I think. But the idea here is, like, Dogpack is not completely honest about what's happening here, and so his claims should be called out, right? You're the hero? No, I'm not. I'm just a guy watching the fucking mess go down. I'm not the hero. Nobody's the hero. There are no heroes or villains in real life. Things are never black and white. That's not how it works.
Watching my video and continue putting crayons up your nose while drooling over Dogpack's face.
Hey!
What, however, is legal is the second illegal lottery.
But almost any clip you do find will have some new violation of internet gambling or sweepstakes laws.
I thought it was him. I was like, keep going. Wait, really? Let's go! Wait, it's literally like, it's like...
This thing with the signatures was a big concern. Do you remember when they were saying that MrBeast was signing all of them, but then there was clearly a guy like looking around like, ooh, should I do this, and signing it himself? I hope that gets addressed here.
Who is it? My cousin. Wait, really?
Actually, that's illegal.
Actually, that's not illegal. Only immediate family can partake in your sweepstakes, and the cousin is not immediate family. It would have been illegal to exclude Chandler's cousin unless if specified in the rules of that specific giveaway. And your
destroyed
isn't from those rules. It's from some lawyer's equivalent to Stack Overflow.
So here's a clip of Tyler using MrBeast's signature. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I think this is fraud.
Maybe ask your immediate family, lawyer, next time, because your opinions are fucking stupid.
True. That's true. I still think it's scummy to claim that it's being signed by MrBeast when it's not. But is it illegal? Maybe not.
It's completely legal and fine to use someone else's signature if they gave you formal consent to do so, and it doesn't devalue the signature.
Months later, MrBeast signed shirts again, but this time it was a 24-hour live stream with way more illegal lotteries.
Nope. MrBeast had no purchase necessary in the description, and even though they did say things like,
would you guys prefer that we throw money in random orders, or that we throw items in random orders?
Yeah. Somebody screamed in chat, I want to switch. Hey, buy a shirt.
If they ended up picking out of both free and paid entries for those giveaways behind the scenes, which there is no reason to believe they didn't, well, then that is legal in live streams. However, I do agree that it's very scummy and manipulative advertising in my opinion. Now, even though I have disproven most of these accusations, there's still a few that I have to investigate deeper. And since Dogpack404 declined every interview offer, the only other place I could dig up the truth is in the belly of the beast.
Oh man, North Carolina?
Isn't that the boring part of the US?
Oh well.
Now, on my 8-hour sleep-deprived flight, I had a lot of time to think and watch Minions, and there was one question that just kept bugging me.
Bello! 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 Banana! Bello!
Dogpack commits such serious defamation and violate his NDA. Why risk your entire life just to spread lies about a YouTuber? So I went over everything I knew about Dogpack to try and figure out his motivation. I rewatched his first 2 job applications for MrBeast, which both got denied, and they seemed obsessive at best and pretentiously unprofessional at worst. I went over his personal Reddit account, that 5-head guy, which, for the geriatrics watching, 5-head is hip internet lingo for when a person says something very smart. So he's calling himself very smart, which
I thought it meant he has a big forehead. I thought that's what it meant. Does it mean he thinks he's really smart? I thought it just meant he had a big forehead. And that was the joke, because he has a big forehead, right? Maybe I'm wrong here. I thought it just meant he had a big forehead.
It's pretty pretentious and cringe. I was starting to see multiple patterns here. Hundreds of obsessive posts and comments on the MrBeast subreddit. New MrBeast interview just dropped. Feasible designs. Him being pretentious, saying he would do shorts better than the current shorts team at MrBeast. Rants whenever people criticized his video IDs. Another third 15-minute long obsessive MrBeast job application where he goes into depth on viewer psychology, showcasing how aware he is of how every small piece of a video,
which, keep in mind, he later criticized MrBeast for using. He was like, oh, I know how to use psychology. I'll help you use it to market to your child audience. And then he was like, that was so fucked up that you did that. It's like, this is your idea.
Can be used to manipulate the viewer in one way or another. It now made sense why Dawson used the exact same content cop outfit as iDubbbz, or why he kept repeating his videos weren't monetized, or how he was able to frame and manipulate every lie as if it were the truth. It really all was viewer manipulation? This entire Reddit account just seems like the online embodiment of an unhealthy MrBeast obsession. So then I went over his erratic DMs to me where he threatened to slander me with nothing but false claims. Luckily when he did that I still had bulletproof receipts, so Dawson had no choice but to back down. Nonetheless, this once again proved to me how Dogpack accuses and tries silencing people without any fact checking and completely tries warping the truth to push his personal agenda. So was he really just doing all this because his ego couldn't accept the fact that he got fired from his dream job after only 3 weeks at a YouTuber he was obsessed with? Maybe I'm gonna get some more answers at the MrBeast company, but for now, I'll just rewatch Minions for a third time.
Yes! We love Minions.
Hi, Dustin Harris. You are the, well, rogue employee. And I first of all wanted to ask you what you do at MrBeast, what your role is, and why you decided to reach out and, yeah, correct some of the accusations that have been made.
I worked for Jimmy almost 6 years, going on 6 years. I've been a writer, director, producer, production coordinator, an assistant, an executive assistant, head of production, head of creative, head of construction, you name it. I've done everything that I can do in this company, and not just to see people slander the work that you've done, but to know that it's lies and misinformation will make anybody speak up, to be honest.
Hi, Emily. You worked at MrBeast. Can you tell me how long you've been working there?
I've been working there for shortly over a year as of like 4 days ago. I'm the ideation strategist right now, ideation generator, coordinator, so that's my official title.
If I remember correctly, that is also where Dawson worked, or for the internet, Dogpack404 worked, yeah. So he worked closely together with you.
Yeah, it was me and him in the department for about 2 weeks. It was just the two of us, and Hoodie was overseeing us.
Everybody calls me Hoodie because all I did back in the day, 8 years ago, was run my own YouTube channel, youtube.com/hoodie. I got to work all over in different departments. I've been in creative, I've been in IT.
I feel like I've heard of this guy before. I feel like I remember his channel. I don't really remember what he was doing, but I feel like I remember this name Hoodie. Maybe there's just so many people had like Hoodie Ed's World profile pictures like me, but I feel like I've heard of this guy Hoodie.
Ideation right now as far as thumbnail.
When you're saying ideation manager, I guess then you were the manager of Dawson or Dogpack404.
I was the manager of Dogpack404 for a time being.
I've heard some stories of people feeling kind of off when he was hired, and I was wondering, why did you hire him?
I didn't hire that guy.
Oh,
no, I inherited that man.
Oh, okay, you didn't. Okay, how did that come to be then?
You want to know? So the real thing that actually happened was he applied to Beast while I was still the creative manager. He applied to Beast twice, and I saw his interview and went, interesting. He's got an analytical brain.
Yeah.
That's not creative. Like what?
They call him Hoodie because he can't go back to Compton base, dude.
He's talking about just won't fit what we're trying to do with our videos. So I turned him down the first time.
Okay.
Then he applies the second time a couple months later.
To ideation, I guess.
Still the creative.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, nah, this guy's still like, he's got like an interesting mind, but I don't know. I think he'd probably fit somewhere else in like a different department or a different channel. Who knows? He's clearly smart, but nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. A void opened up, something random happened. He spawned in on the channel, just randomly in ideation.
So he was apparently desperate to work for MrBeast. He was like MrBeast's biggest fan. He was his biggest defender. He wanted to be there so fucking bad. Applying over and over again after getting rejected, that's crazy.
I got summoned into a room and got told by our leaders, they're like, hey, there's a gap in ideation and thumbnail. I need somebody to go in there and help. Can you be that guy? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go in.
Okay.
And I went in, and that's the first time I met Dawson.
Dawson sent me a screenshot of messages he had between you and him. Can you just verify that these are real? These are...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yo, let's come prepared to the set with the deck tomorrow just in case Jimmy wants you to pitch any ideas to him. So we should meet in the office in the morning and get it set up. That way you can make be prepared just in case and make a good impression. Agreed. It was said an hour ago. Met with Tyler's PA, Sam, and pitched Nolan Lamau. Hoodie never showed up. Oh, nice. It's awesome. Well, I guess we probably won't have to go to set tomorrow then. Regardless, it'd be good to get a deck set up, and I'm happy to help with that. I'm down to go to set tomorrow. I just have to still pitch Hoodie and meet Tyler at some point. Interesting. Nick Diorio pointed this out on stream that unlike Dogpack just having random sources, this video has names and faces. That is good, yeah. It does make it look like if people are willing to put their face on screen and have their real name there, it makes it look like they're a little bit more credible, because at least we can fact check them in the future and like question them about it, rather than all these anonymous sources that you can't actually have any real actual real question to them, because it's like you don't know who they are, you know. I'm not saying anybody should dox any anonymous sources. You should not do that. But what I am saying is, like, when you have somebody who's willing to self-dox and publish their own identity, they can be questioned in the future, that is a lot more convincing to me.
Those messages are between me and Dawson.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about your relationship with Dawson during both of you guys working there? Was there something that felt off?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, me and Dawson were cordial. Like, I tried to keep it professional. I think he tried his best to keep it professional, but I will say it was a little uncomfortable with just me and him in the office. He seemed pretty disinterested in making genuine connections with people at the company. He gave weird vibes for sure.
Yeah.
And
Weird vibes.
I felt like very uncomfortable
Yikes, times 10. Weird vibes allegations.
working in the office with him. He didn't seem to work too well with others.
Okay.
New theory in chat by Sip. Dogpack404 is an insider who MrBeast planted to spread misinformation to discredit the PDF file allegations with Chris Tyson. That's funny. I mean, I would almost be willing to run with that a little bit if Chris wasn't already kicked out of the company, but that's pretty funny. It's a funny thing to believe. I wish that was the case.
It seemed
Just
like he
5D
had no
chess.
respect for Hoodie. He didn't take any of Hoodie's advice.
Probably because he didn't hire him.
It seemed like he didn't think he knew what Hoodie was doing. But yeah, Dawson definitely did not like Hoodie. Did not like Hoodie, did not show him any respect, even though he was his superior and he was trying to train him into being a better ideation strategist.
So there was a leaked document, about like work culture, and there was a line in there, no doesn't mean no, and it has a pretty negative connotation. And I was
People frame this as if it was like a thing. Same with the boys, the let the boys be boys thing. That was framed as like this is promoting a toxic, misogynistic culture, when clearly those comments were taken out of context and had nothing to do with anything sexual.
wondering, because you as a woman working at Beast, what was your reaction when reading that no doesn't mean no thing? And
Yeah, so I actually wrote that part. Yeah, that's why it's funny. Yeah, because I actually wrote this thing with Jimmy doing this. The whole reason why this thing exists in the first place is because we are growing so fast people-wise. It's like, okay, how do we give them artificial Jimmy time? Like, how do we teach them what CTR is, teach them what 1 out of 10 is?
Yeah.
Like, how do you say, okay, this is how we think about creative, this is how what it takes to be successful here, based off of the hard things we got to do. That's the intent behind the document, right? No doesn't mean no is wildly taken out of context, I think, in this situation.
True.
Because in the way that we mean it, it's a sales tactic. It's like, again, like I mentioned, like you call a crane operator and go, hey man, I need you to drop a jet from your crane. And they're like, huh? No, I can't do that, right? And so for us, it's more like, well, why can't you do that? And they're like, oh, well, I don't have the manpower to do this. And it's like, okay, well, how do we help you get past that, right? Can we help get you more labor? Is it like that's what it means, because like we wouldn't have a company if we stopped at no at face value.
Yeah.
Right? Because if everybody that told us no, we couldn't do some of the crazy things that we've done. In no sense of the word, in the context means, like, as a female, if somebody comes up to me and says an improper comment, like, they keep trying. Like, like not at all.
Okay,
you know
because
what I mean?
that was kind of concerning, I guess. But
Well,
it makes sense.
not at all.
Yeah,
Like,
The thing is, even in the context of it, they're not saying anything about how, like, when a girl says no during sex, you should pressure her. Like, it's clearly written into context that no means no is in reference to, like, trying to get things done and trying to get businesses to agree to let you film there, which you can argue maybe you shouldn't be, like, pressuring businesses and, like, going behind the manager's back to talk to an employee who will let you film. Maybe you can say that that's bad, but the way it was being pushed was like, this is some kind of thing, which is not the case at all. That document, actually, if you read it, a lot of it's very good YouTube advice and just general business advice. I read it and I was like, this is interesting, I didn't think it was like that crazy. I didn't think most of it was like not egregious at all.
Not at all. Like in any sense of the word, it's like no, like it's a sales tactic. It's been around long before like we put it down on paper.
The truth of the matter is we were 4.5 weeks out of that video and we didn't have a hole or a train. And I don't know if you know anything about digging dirt, but it takes a long time to dig a hole that deep. And the location we ended up shooting it at happens to be a close personal friend of mine, and just happened to have a 50-foot deep quarry that was already dug. And the creative behind the video was that it was an 80-foot hole. So I had to get it dug another 30 feet in 4 weeks, which that much limestone is a lot to do. So we hired a massive...
You can literally see the pit too that Dawson said was completely fake. He said the pit is fake, and this is the pit. Come on.
Excavating team to come out and dig the other 30 feet out. And then the reason that the hole is CG'd in the video is because of safety, right? We needed to create a back wall that the train wouldn't crash into and potentially kill people. So the hole is a little bit bigger than the video that we put lifts and cameras on that were far enough away that the train wouldn't hit them and no one would die, right? So it was all a safety concern. It was not about faking a hole at all.
War crime stuff, that was a joke. Why did you make that joke?
I didn't work on that video. I was in the company at the time. I was working on a separate project, and I got a call, and they were like, "Hey, Jake's not doing so hot." And so I came in, and the assessment was accurate. He was not doing so hot. I just kind of like, I was talking to him. I was trying to cheer him up, and I made that joke. It's a war crime. I didn't think it was going to turn into a bunch of thumbnails and titles on YouTube, but it was serious. I mean, it was obviously a joke, and it was definitely framed a little more maliciously.
Yeah,
in the video.
They didn't insinuate it as a joke in the video. They didn't show like the war crime, like definition of war crimes while it's being said. Which can you talk a bit about, like, since you were friends with Jake Weddle, did he talk about it afterwards, or do you know like how it came to be that he had such a rough time in that challenge, in that isolation challenge?
Again, I didn't work on the video, so all I can do is I can kind of speculate. So I'll answer you by saying the process we normally go through when we cast. We usually find someone who we think is going to be good for a video, and we usually work with them leading up to the video, letting them know not exactly the challenges that we're going to be doing, but round about the level of difficulty that the challenges are going to be, and then we kind of lay out the challenge, right?
This challenge itself, I thought it's still to this day, I guess we'll see what they say here, but I found the idea of a sleep deprivation challenge pretty concerning. Even if the person in question agrees to it, like, you're essentially agreeing to psychological torture. I personally, there's a level of like, so for the Tom IRL video, we just did a MrBeast parody video where we did like a game show about MrBeast trivia, and we like had like mouse traps and shit as part of the punishments. And you know, there's a certain level where it's like, okay, these people aren't employed by me. They're not required to do anything. They offer to be in a video for free, for no pay. And they're all people I know well, and I know that they're like of sound mind, and they're willing to agree to this, right? So like that's like one thing, and like a mouse trap on your foot is like kind of like, it's like whatever. It doesn't really, it's not that bad, right? But with like serious psychological torment that can last like, you know, days, weeks, I've always kind of found that a little bit concerning, just because like they can do permanent psychological damage to you that potentially can't be undone. I was like, you know, I wasn't so, a lot of people were like, who cares about what Jake Weddle went through? He agreed to it. And I wasn't so on board with that. There are times when those arguments can be made, but with this, it was like, I don't know. I feel like it's still kind of fucked up to do that video.
We'd never really had that issue up to that point, and we haven't ever had that issue since that point. You know, we've done videos like the Trap Together video that had really, really similar aspects to the video Jake was in, and they had a positive experience after the fact. I mean, it was a tough challenge for them, but they released these videos after the fact. Now, that doesn't take away the way that Jake felt in that video, and I would never do that. You know, I saw the guy; he was not doing so hot. You know, and I don't know what happened in there specifically to make that happen. I don't, you know, I know Jake. He's not lying when he said he had a bad time. You know, I don't want to say that it was 100% Jake is the reason that challenge didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to turn out. Some people approach challenges just completely different, and that's the thing is, my brain tells me that if other people have gone through similar challenges and
it's your own fault if you sign up for that. Okay, Smaggle, if somebody signs up to have all their limbs cut off because they're delusional and mentally ill, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'll get paid $500 at the end of it if my limbs get cut off. would you still be like, oh, well, the people who cut his limbs off didn't do anything wrong because the guy agreed to it? Like, clearly that person wasn't of sound mind in the first place. That's not a one-to-one comparison with this. What the argument I'm making is like, just because someone agrees to it doesn't mean that what's being done to them is ethical.
They've turned out okay, then maybe it's not the challenge. And I'm not the type of person that holds grudges. And I know I still work here now, and I know he's still making videos, and I know people, like, I have friends that are like, I can't believe you're still talking to Jake Weddle. And I'm like, you know, in 10 years, none of this is going to matter between him and I. And I'm sure we'll have a beer together because it's, in the grand scheme of things, my friendship with him is...
There's a difference between MrBeast and amputation. I agree, and I acknowledge that for sure. But I still think that, like, just because someone agrees something doesn't mean you should do whatever you want to them, right?
More important than anything anybody's going to say online. When he spoke out, I know what he ran into as well. I know he ran into people that sent him hate. I know he ran into people that were sending him death threats. I know that he got doxxed. I know his phone number got leaked. And in that scenario, you know, as messed up as it sounds, like, he couldn't really turn to any of his friends at Beast because he'd kind of just, you know,
it would be kind of a conflict.
Kind of just upset everyone at Beast. So, I mean, like, who does he have to turn to? He has to turn towards Rosanna and Dogpack and all the people that are making these videos about us. I mean, I think he found a family and he found a home. I don't fault the guy for sticking with that little group of people making videos. Like, it just makes sense.
So something I also want to ask you about is about Lakoya Hill. And
this is what I'm really curious about. Because this is a story that Dogpack pushed that there was more evidence than James Warren, but it was still kind of unconfirmed. I thought maybe Lakoya was being slandered. So I'm curious what's going on here and what their story is going to be.
There was some mismanagement from him towards his assistant. There are some allegations out there, but nothing concrete so far. And yeah, can you tell me a bit about what really went on with Lakoya Hill?
Yeah, so like just to kind of give you background on like when someone reports something to HR, which would have been me at the time because it was years ago. Whenever somebody reports it, I go, hey, okay, like, thank you, I appreciate it. We're gonna make sure that we do everything we can to look into it. Then we always hire a third party company, either a lawyer or someone that's like not here to like prove one person right or wrong, but like a true unbiased party. And so then like everybody talks to him, like the person, his assistant would have talked to them, Lakoya would have talked to them, and any person that they named as witnesses or potential proof of text messages, like pictures, anything, like this company would have dealt with. And then they write a report and then they go, hey, here's what you should do, right? And so that's what they do. And then internally what we do is like, okay, the assistant, like, what do you want to happen, right? If it's this, if it's that, like obviously if it's found like he's gone, like that's not okay in any workplace, you know?
If it's like confirmed that there is something,
like of course, like we're not gonna hang on to that, right? And so, and he was like, yeah, I don't necessarily want him to be fired, but like I don't want to be around him, I don't want to see him, like it's just really uncomfortable for me, you know? So we're like, okay, great. So like I actually worked with him to come up with a list of like jobs that he wanted, because again, if the person who he's assisting is not here, like it's like, okay, well now what's your job? So it was like we came up with everything he was interested in, like what he wanted to do and stuff like that, and move him into a different role. And we said, hey, you won't have to see Lakoya again. We're gonna like move him completely out. It wasn't a secret. Like we moved him to a new company idea that we had. He was the only person in that company. He wasn't even on site. He wasn't working in the building. He wasn't anything like that.
I mean, so this basically confirms the Lakoya story then, right? That they moved him to a different company at some point so that so that this supposed victim wouldn't have to see Lakoya. This essentially confirms that. Now, if the victim, quote unquote, if that's what they are, didn't want Lakoya to get fired, I guess them following through with their wishes is important. But it does confirm the idea that Lakoya was like, you know, accused and they ended up taking action against him, right?
Like we just said, hey, we think this is a cool idea, go figure it out. And so he went on his own to go figure that out. And then the assistant worked with us for a long time, and then when he wasn't here anymore, I think it was like almost a year after the assistant like had, you know, chosen to do whatever he wanted to do, then we were like, okay, we'll bring Lakoya back to help, because at this point there's no conflict anymore. So that's really what it was. Like it was no, oh, we're gonna go hide Lakoya over here, and like, I mean.
That's true. They didn't really hide it, but if there is enough stuff about Lakoya that you'd move to a different company, wouldn't you also maybe want to fire him? You know what I mean? She basically said they'll let him work somewhere else so the investigation finds him guilty or innocent. And now he's fired. Well, to be clear, then if that's the case, they did the right thing, Cam Nuggets. That's actually the right thing to do. To like wait till the investigation concludes and then fire him based on that. Like that is actually how you're supposed to act, I think.
Even now, look why he doesn't work for us anymore.
Most of the time he was there was consumed in trying to get an Apple Vision Pro.
Any weird stories circulating or whatever of something?
Yeah, I know. That's why it's not confirmed. Yeah, of course.
Dawson did at the company or...
I heard...
But I just feel like, I don't know, maybe he's kind of a liability. Maybe they just get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So you allow someone to work at a company when they have credible allegations like that, though. But the thing is, we don't know really what the credible allegation was. Like, we don't have the internal report. And, like, if we got it, then it could expose the victim, which would dox them, which would potentially get them harassed. So the thing is, like, we don't know if it's really a credible allegation. The existence of an allegation doesn't mean it's credible. You shouldn't get rid of someone on a false allegation. That's true. But to me, the fact he was eventually fired just makes me think, like, eh. If he was found innocent, you have wrongful termination. Yeah, exactly. That's true. The thing is, like Cam Nuggets, it kind of does confirm it. But to me, it doesn't confirm that the company necessarily acted inappropriately. If the allegation is credible, fire him. But if not, if there wasn't enough based on the third-party investigation, like, what are they supposed to do?
That he told the chef that his food was trash.
I heard that story too, yeah. And then he like denied it in a video afterwards, and I talked about that. But
I'm not sure how much truth there is to that, but I mean, maybe we could call him and see, like, hey, this is Emily from Ideation.
Hey Emily, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing alright,
Stranger of the 206 in quote says Dogpack was right in the Clay stuff. Didn't Dogpack say kids? Dogpack said that he actually we can just watch the segment. Actually, can we? Is it up re-uploaded? Dogpack404 re-upload. Wish we had it. I remember there were like 8 different claims. I don't think any of it was about kids. I think they were all about like sexual misconduct with assistants or people at the Beast Company. I don't remember anything about kids, personally.
Right.
Cool. Well, I'm here with Soggy. I wanted to ask you, I have a question to ask.
They found no evidence with respect to the victim. Wise to work to not the victim's wishes to not work around the Koya. That seems to be the case. But in fair, that's what these people are saying. We don't know if that's true. It's ultimately their word against Dogpack. So Dogpack doesn't have definitive claim. Definitive evidence of his claim. So ultimately, it's like innocent until proven guilty on the company's part. You know what I mean?
Ask you about Dawson, but I want to make sure you're comfortable being recorded first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So I heard a rumor circulating that Dawson told you that your food was trash. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I actually met him. It was kind of after his tour, you know, of our studio and such, and he actually came over, you know, tried some of the food that we had in the fridge, and then proceeded to tell me it tasted like shit, and then hater more frequently.
Yeah,
which is fair because I'm not sure if I had introduced
Dogpack deserves better food, goddammit.
myself, or maybe he just felt comfortable enough to tell me the food tasted like shit.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it went, my first interaction with him. And then other than that, I really had no other interaction or wanting to have any other interaction with him after that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm really sorry to hear that, but I disagree. I think your food is great.
Thank you so much. I mean,
recently there was this video that started getting some traction. One of the clinics where some of the eye surgeries were happening and helping 1,000 people see for the first time. And they claimed that the MrBeast company hadn't paid for any of the surgeries yet. Can you talk a bit about that?
I forgot this allegation even happened. I heard about this and I never watched the video on stream, but before I could even get to it, they're going to try to disprove it. All right, well, we'll see what they have to say.
Essentially, when we did that video, we worked with a third party. And that third party worked with a bunch of different organizations all around the world because we were trying to spread it as far as we could, multiple countries. So we had one center third party that we were working with, and they kind of worked with all these. One of those organizations somewhere around the world didn't receive the compensation, which we only worked with the third party. We paid them for 1,800 surgeries.
Oh, 1,800, so not 1,000.
Yeah. We kept going after 1,000. We just worked with them. And we actually, we did more than 1,000, but the title of 1,000 sounds a lot better. So we just says 1,000, and it looks good.
Yeah.
So we worked with that third party, and that third party, I don't know what communication error happened between them and the other organization, but some way or another, that organization ended up not being funded properly. And then when it came across our desk that the missing loop happened. We just went around the third party we originally work with to compensate them. Yeah. And they've put out a video since talking about it.
We're doing a video where we're trying to help people walking.
Yeah, I know about that.
Okay, so it was literally resolved. Okay. I appreciate that he's going on every single little claim, like making note of the really big stuff. I feel like that is good.
Actively partners have pulled out because of these videos. There are people who will not walk or will have to delay in them walking because of the videos that Dogpack made.
Oh, I believe that for sure. I mean, when you have videos with 30 million views, I mean, we already saw from the Business Insider article that it seems like sponsors were getting cold feet regarding the Amazon show, right? I wouldn't be surprised if MrBeast lost a ton of sponsorships because of all this. That wouldn't be shocking to me.
That was unironically, like I was getting pitched ideas like Jimmy trying every drug in existence.
That was also like a serious idea that he had.
Yeah, joke. It again goes back to like the no, I'm joking. Because if I pitch you an idea of like Jimmy tries every drug and you're like, that's sick. I'm like, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, but if I would go like, that's kind of weird.
I'd be like, whoa,
it's a joke.
Whoa, you're taking that weird. I was just putting that in as a joke. Like, that's crazy.
How in depth he went on like how viewer psychology works. So he obviously knows how like every part of a video can manipulate the viewer in some way or form. And you can see that both by that video he made to apply at the MrBeast channel, but also you can see that just in the videos he made. Yeah. You know, the MrBeast, the fraud videos and stuff. He accuses the MrBeast company of really trying to psychologically target children and like manipulate children. Is there any truth to that in the ideation team? And like, did he try to bring his like skills of a viewer psychology into ideation? Did he try to do that?
Yes to that. Yes to trying to bring his skills of viewer psychology.
I mean, that much is obvious because he talked about viewer psychology in his application video that we already saw, right? I mean, that much is 1,000% obvious. As far as MrBeast doing it, I guess it's mostly Dawson's claims, but there were clips of him on podcasts talking about how like psychology is really important for marketing things. So it's believable that MrBeast would be using human psychology to market things to children.
Into ideation and also trying to like bleed it over to creative. Yeah. So that way we could figure out like, okay, well, you know, psychologically a near miss is going to be the craziest thing that we could do here. We should do that, which he has on his like Miro boards, where it's like the exact things that he calls Jimmy out for. If he was here for longer than a month, he would know that we were actively working at aging up our content, because that was something that we were like very cognizant of is, hey, we should make our content something that is appealing and enjoyable to like people who are older. Like who are the people that aren't watching our videos? Probably 30 to 40 to 50 to even 60-year-olds. How do we make our videos enjoyable?
Well, there are some of them. The majority is children still. Come on. I mean, there's some people who watch it who are older, but because they just have such a wide audience. But I would guess like probably 30% of them are kids. And that's a huge demographic, right?
For those guys. Yeah. So we're hitting a general audience. Now,
when I say kids, I mean like 9-year-olds.
You could argue, yeah, a general audience. I mean, we need to make a video that like a 10-year-old and a 90-year-old can understand, which is the same for the challenges that we have to do in videos like that anyways. When we do a video like ages 1 to 100, fight for blah, 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 we have to make a challenge so simple to understand and easy to process that a literal 1-year-old and a 99 to 100-year-old can understand. Yeah. Like, we need to keep that in mind.
Right, because they're made for the mass market. They're made for everyone. They're not made for one specific person. I don't like MrBeast videos, to be clear, but, you know, I get why they do them. I mean, they're trying to make them as appealing to every single possible person that could see them.
Fine. Yeah. That's just generalizing.
Is MrBeast evil?
I went all the way from America and back, and all I got to show for it is this ugly plushie and this fart gun from Minions. And the interviews I held, by the way, which did clarify a lot. I think I personally finally realized how big of a company and how many people actually work at MrBeast. It's not like a small 10 people.
Yeah, this is the thing for me that I remember talking about, that people were like, it's his company. And I was like, okay, but it is. But at the same time, there's like 300, 400, who knows how many fucking employees, right? At least 300 is what we know. That's what's been reported. It's hard to say that every single thing that happens at that company is Jimmy's fault when he didn't even hire all of them, right? He hired people who hired people who hired people who hired people. Like, there's so many different people. So it's very hard to argue that he's responsible for every single thing. He can still be criticized for it because this is his company, and there should still be people held accountable if impropriety happens. But it's not literally all his fault directly. But people just assume that because I think they don't really, you know. Ironically, I think a lot of the people who are watching the criticisms of MrBeast are like 14, but then the people who like, they're 14-year-olds who think they have like a large big brain understanding of this shit, and then there's like 9-year-olds who don't give a fuck about it because they're just watching MrBeast videos. But then you've got the big brain 20-year-olds like me, I guess I'm 22, who are, but understand slightly more than the 14-year-old. Right, so like this is like the levels of this shit, and then there's probably 40-year-olds who look at me and are like, "Tom, you're a fucking idiot. This is how it actually works."
Thing as it was a few years ago, and I'm glad that the interviews clarified Jake Weddle's experience and didn't end up invalidating his personal perspective, but did add some context that it might have not been the challenge that was terrible, but he himself wasn't mentally in the best state in life at that point. But there's one more thing I have to clarify for everyone, and that is the illegal lottery number 1. Which, on my flight back, I finally found some proof that the first illegal lottery was in fact illegal. There was no purchase necessary in the description, no mention of it at all. Yeah, it was illegal. And personally, Jimmy has to own up for it, either by donating the...
Okay, so Dawson was right on one point. He didn't do the research. He didn't, like, get to that conclusion ethically, in good faith, but he was right about that one, I guess, according to this guy.
The amount of profit he made in that live stream to a charity, or by refunding everyone who bought a shirt in that stream, but that's like so many years ago, so I don't know if that's a possibility. Or do a giveaway live stream where everything is given away for free, with no merch sales attached. However, I do also want to note that most YouTubers, including me, didn't know that you could do something like an illegal lottery. So since only the first one was illegal, I feel like it might have been a mistake. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. Just as the question if MrBeast is evil...
Even if it was a mistake or not, there should probably be some reparations, man. There should be some reparations, man, for this kind of stuff. But I am willing to believe that it wasn't malicious, and it was like genuine irresponsibility from a 20-year-old who's running the biggest YouTube channel in the world.
Evil isn't for me to say, but that is again for you, the viewer, to decide. Because there is some shit that he should be criticized for and has to be looked into. I know CoffeeZilla is doing an investigation into his crypto stuff, and once that releases, I hope that clarifies some things. Because those...
Yeah, this is a really good video, by the way. As far as I could tell, super impartial, super good at combing through the bullshit and the real shit, and ultimately asked a lot of important questions. And to me, it looks like Jimmy has more responsibility here in the crypto stuff than his public statement was willing to acknowledge, for sure.
Those are some serious allegations. And that wasn't of like stupid adolescent Jimmy, 19 years old, and hiring someone without doing background checks. That was like 3 years ago, way more recent, that he should be held accountable for if he did commit crimes with crypto. So yeah, go check CoffeeZilla's video on that once it releases. I couldn't really investigate the crypto stuff because I don't know shit about crypto, and I didn't want to be hypocritical like Dogpack and talk about shit I don't know anything about. Because that's basically what Dawson has been doing for the past few months. I feel like Jimmy has to become way more transparent because that is how he got in all this trouble in the first place. They really have to start a MrBeast behind the scenes channel to upload behind the scenes footage there. And stop with the deceptive shit. When you do a sponsor read, don't make the yellow bar go real.
Who cares about the yellow bar? This does not matter. Who gives a fuck about the yellow bar? Literally nobody gives a shit about the yellow bar. Nobody cares. Okay, nobody cares if there's a yellow bar that makes it look like it's going faster. I will do the yellow bar now in the future on every single ad I've ever done, just to spite this. Who cares? Who cares about the yellow bar? The yellow bar does not matter. It's fine. It's the lowest level of deception. Nobody cares about that.
Real fast at the start.
I care. Well, Smaggle, you have autism, so that's why you care.
To make the viewer believe that, you know, oh, this advertisement isn't going to take long, I won't skip over it. But then at the end of it, make the visual timer suddenly run way slower. That's not just deceptive. I think that's pretty disrespectful towards your audience.
Well, the audience is... so fuck that.
And I know that there are still questions that you guys probably have with stuff that I just couldn't address because there is so much, but I can forward you to some other people who have talked about stuff that I might have forgotten in this video. You know, if you want to know some more about Beast Games and the Beast Games lawsuit, definitely check out Stucky's channel. He did a great deep dive on that, and I made many other videos on the whole Dogpack MrBeast situation. And again, once CoffeeZilla's investigation on the crypto stuff is out there, I highly recommend you to go watch that, because that'll clarify a lot.
I wonder how MrBeast is going to respond to that, or if he ever will. But I assume if he's messaging people this fucking video, and he knows that people know that, he's got to respond at some point, right? If he offered, what's his name, more Pegasus an interview, there's got to be something coming, bro.
A lot of stuff that I don't know anything about, because I trust those investigative creators 10,000 times more than I do Dawson. Instead of having competent people investigate serious accusations, he's just been throwing baseless shit at the wall and hoping some stuff sticks with the audience. He is incompetent, petty, a liar,
True.
deceptive, and after
True.
all this, I just know that he is a disgruntled employee. I've been investigating this for like the past 3 months, and I really hope that I was able to answer some questions you guys had before watching this video. Also, Jimmy, stop the collabs with Logan Paul. If you want to see some more of my interviews or some extra additional context that I have but wasn't able to put in this video, let me know in the comments below. I might talk about it on my socials, so make sure to check those out in the description.
He probably won't stop the Logan Paul collab. I doubt he gives a fuck. But that's the thing that's worth criticizing him on. Ultimately, I think what this video showed is that there are a lot of claims made about MrBeast that are not true. Or at the very least, that if they are true, Dogpack did a terrible job investigating them, and he wasn't the hero we wanted him to be, chat. I think that much is very obvious. All right, I got to piss. Then we're going to talk about the video more and have a chat with Nick about it. All right, so let's have a little chat. Big picture, what did you guys think about that video? What did you think about that video overall? How'd you feel about it? What are some qualms you had with it? What are some things you liked from it? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think that this is all and it all like Dogpack will be vindicated in the end and MrBeast was the demonic figure that you thought he was from the beginning? What do you guys think? Dawson should delete everything and leave the internet forever. Yeah, what's kind of sad about that is I really like, I do kind of like his content cop parody aesthetic. I think it was kind of funny. And on top of that, like his presentation, his cadence, I feel like is good for YouTube. He feels like an old YouTuber. He feels like 2015, 16 YouTube. He's wearing his influences on his sleeve, and I like that about him, and I liked the stuff, like, on his aesthetic level, but the research was just so bad, and it kind of upsets me. It's like, fuck. He did more research than Dogpack and Rosanna combined. Well, that was a pretty low bar, but he did pass that for sure. He was too nice to MrBeast and looked like a redemption from Beast Company, but good overall. Was he too nice to him? I mean, I will say it kind of was a video where it was like, I'm still going to call him MrBeast, but then he called him out for like 3 things at the end, and that was it. When I feel like there could have been a little more focus on the LaKoya thing and, like, you know, not just taking people's word for it, because there could have been more going on there. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that.